Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to tradertv.live. North American stock futures in negative territory in a big way this morning, coming off a pretty lackluster week last week. We'll touch on earnings to coming up this week. We're getting into the full swing of things this morning, but focus kind of shifting back towards increasing COVID-19 cases globally once again. And the negative effect, that is, that could have on the global economies rebounding. Data out over the weekend surrounding the Delta variant in the U.S. showed the 7-day average of new cases in the U.S. Up to 30,000 new cases per day. Once again, that's an increase from the last 7-day period, which was averaging 11,000 cases per day, so more than a double there. Overall, stocks that are set to benefit the most from economies continuing to strengthen are the weakest in the pre-market here. We're seeing travel names to the downside right across the board. Cruise operators, airlines, even the hotels, 2 to 4% in negative territory so far. Oil stocks under pressure as well. OPEC coming out saying they're scaling back on production cuts once again. We'll talk about some oil stocks, all down about 3% right across the board. Zoom shares in focus this morning, also in negative territory. There's kind of a double-edged sword here. They announced that deal for $5.9 this morning, $15 billion all-stock deal. But remember, Zoom was one of the stay-at-home type shares that benefited the most the first go-around for COVID. So we'll talk about some stay-at-home names as well. And we'll look at some of the meme stocks also continuing their move to the downside, coming off of pretty weak performance last week. It's Monday, July 19th, 2021. TraderTV.live starts now. Yeah, there we go. That's how things look at this point. Lots of red numbers to contend with so far this morning. 1+% for the S&P and the Dow. The NASDAQ just holding above that full 1% to the downside. Same story for TSX futures here in Toronto, still 0.94 to the downside. Brazil's open, trading down more than 1%. We have 3+ on crude oil on that OPEC news this morning. Bitcoin and Ethereum under pressure here as well. It is a Monday, but it's a red one so far today, to say the least, guys. Pretty hard to find something not red right now with any kind of catalyst to kind of get behind as far as positivity goes, but lots to get to so far this morning.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. Hey, welcome back. But there are a couple of green names on the board. We'll get to some of those, some small caps that are moving around a bit. But it's, across the board, you're seeing a lot of weakness and the numbers not looking fantastic. Travel names getting absolutely crushed, but it's not just that. Your AMCs are down. Virgin Galactic continues to head down. Meanwhile, you have the launch tomorrow. Of course, Jeff Bezos is going to be going into space himself. So we'll continue to watch Virgin Galactic head to the downside. Navigating these markets, we can still do it because we're going to be trading. We're going to find what's moving. That's what it's all about here. Other thing to consider, we got some IPOs that are coming in the next few weeks that I think should be of interest for sure. And then we still got some earnings this week. There'll be some big ones. I think IBM's the first one off the bat, and then we get a few other ones to round out this week. So we'll hunker down, get you the action here, and get to the stocks that are going to be moving and the trading opportunities, because there are going to be plenty this week, Sean.
We've already tweeted this out, and we've gotten some love for it today. We switched up the coffee maker, CO. This is what we're looking at right now with the market there. But we're getting a lot of love for the coffee maker itself. I mean, this is a pretty sick Jura coffee maker there. It makes great coffee when it's working properly. And it is right now, but welcome, guys, one again to another day, another week. It should be fun. Look, we just snapped a 3-week winning session roll here for the market. So, it's bad today, but I mean, it's going to be a lot of dependent on what you hold. Most names getting killed. We talked about banks, big cap tech, and whatnot, but you're really just back to where you were, about a week and a half ago on a lot of these major indexes. So I don't think it's time to panic quite yet, but depends on what you hold. Palantir is going to be down near $20. I was joking about Virgin Galactic. It's now at 28. It's just been a disaster for a lot of the names here, especially a lot of the names that I know a lot of you are holding. So we'll try to navigate through it a little bit. We'll try to be patient. Not much here on the imbalance locator today, obviously. I can't find a B. They're just all S's here. So Sean leads the day and no Brendan's on here, and that's a sad one because we want to see more Brendan on the show and in the markets because B is for buy. And right here, Brendan, unfortunately, I don't see one on the imbalance locator. So let's navigate through our watch list. I got the sticky notes up. It should be a fun day. There's always opportunity. Just make sure that if you're going to go short, we'll talk about this as we go, but you got to make sure that the shares are borrowable. You have those on watch. And then AMC also approaching that 32-ish, 30 level here, which we should have some reaction with.
Yeah, important levels for a lot of these stocks to kick things off this morning. And it's a great point Sean made there. You know, we have to understand overall where we are because, yes, we're down 1% plus for the most part right across the board, but the market's still, you know, having a really, really good year and really, really positive year. So we'll touch a little bit on where we are overall. Before we do, let's get over to the desk and say good morning to Miss V.
Hi guys, I hope you all had a great weekend and this week will bring you a lot of profitable opportunities. Please make sure to like this video right now and let's get it started, Brandon.
Let's indeed get it started, guys. Let's kick things off here, maybe with a little bit of a look at overall where things stand at this point. As we said, yeah, it's negative. We're coming into 1+% right across the board here, but overall the market, as Sean was mentioning there, just going back to, you know, levels we were at a couple weeks ago. So overall, things not too terrible. It's worth having a plan, though, to understand, you know, where things might become attractive once again, guys.
Well, that's the thing. Like the overall market, it's not that bad. And we look at sort of individual names that are going to be, you know, looking a little bit. They're teetering. And that's the reality. Like AAL, you know, has already broken through what was. It has fallen into support. And you're going to see the same thing with Carnival. And then you're breaking into not uncharted territories, but territories that you haven't seen since the beginning of the year when it made that nice little run. So, you know, there was a lot of volume down in these ranges, like 15, 16 in January when a stock like this got going. So you look back and say, okay, if this continues, where can you actually find those interesting values that come in there? And then, of course, there's going to be the momentum plays that we're going to have to be able to go to the south side. So you really, it's not about like doom and gloom everywhere. I mean, you have plenty of names like the FANGs that are barely off of those highs and coming in a little bit. And then you have others, like Sean said, like, you know, Virgin Galactic, which you know, I'm looking at not saying it goes to 24 today, but I'm looking at $24, and I kind of feel like I'm getting that this week. So, you know, there's a lot of things that you have to sort of temper your expectations with. Don't panic for sure. But I mean, if you're looking at the airlines and you like them as a value, and we'll probably talk to Mark about Southwest, you're starting to dig in a little bit here. I think it's early for the banks. I think they probably have a little bit more to fall, but you got to start thinking about these things. And Tesla, another one there, they can't seem to get out of its own way.
I was just looking at the cues. Oh God, now my daily chart's gonna be frozen on this one. Okay, so hold on a second. We can look at the NQs because I just have this contract up, but this is what I was talking about. I mean, so it's a big fall for sure. You know, like Russell talked about it last week. Well, the NASDAQ hit 15,000. It's right there, 15,000. And then you get right back into this level right now. And if you look, this is July 1st. So we've eliminated the last 2 or 3 weeks here of gains, come all the way back into this July 1st number. We've traveled back down through 50-period moving averages a few times, right? Back in May, we did it back in early June again, and I don't want to say we're going to do it now because that's a big drop to 14.2, but that just shows you sort of how much we accelerated through this 50-period moving average, right? Now, if I just take look at the triple Qs here, you'll see that there's been lots of opportunity. And I'm just looking at NASDAQ here because big cap tech sort of led the way and led the rally the last couple of weeks. You've seen, I mean, we can look at the Russell 2000, IWM, how much that is down exactly. But look at the triple Qs. So it's nasty because it's 3, 4, 5 days in a row. We talked about that on our tweet, ending the 3-week run of positivity on all the markets. But right now, it looks like you're getting rated below. For the Qs, I mean, 343 may be an issue here. IWM over in the Amex. Is it an Amex name? Yeah, so you're down 2.3%. Watch out for this one when the chart finally loads. Of course, you know, it was small cap haven a while ago. This is the Russell 2000 ETF. You can see it topped out 234 here on IWM. Now it's 210 coming in today, and it looks like we're getting ready. And the reason why I bring this up, let's just make sure that is the price. Yeah, 210.08. Okay. So the reason why we bring this up is you're actually breaking. So I just showed you we're back down on the NASDAQ to July numbers, but look where we are on IWM here. If you can break this 204, 205, and again, maybe something else to talk to Mr. Roberts about, but like this 205 right here, that goes back to January. So right now, you're eliminating, if you're invested in the Russell 2000 or any of these small cap stocks, I mean, look at what we're doing. DraftKings, look at AMC's part of this group. Anyways, anything that's basically not in the S&P 500 or the bigger cap names are going to be in the IWM, and you're retracing all the way, Brendan, all the way back to January, February lows, or levels. So this is a problem because, again, it's the whole year gone now in the IWM. So a huge run off the bottom. I mean, like what Neil was saying or Brendan was saying earlier, it's been a fantastic year for equities. But right now, what is going to lead the way? The 10-year's at, 1.22 right now? So, what's going to lead the way for Q3? What's Q4 going to look like? Like, we have these variants. We need to sell some Disney. We need to sell a lot of these names. The travel names have already gotten sold. You remember us talking about CCL. I mean, I'm sure right now CCL 19. Like, we were talking about this name, guys, like back $23, $24, $25. Like, I remember this level right here. Like, this was a big trade. Like, when we broke through this multi-day level. Now you're way down from that. So now we'll look to see if we can break 1850 on some of these names. Southwest is down there. Boeing, like Microsoft, Apple. Really, there's nowhere to hide right now. So let's just calm down again, I think. But we talked about lightening up last week. We did a little bit of that, and obviously not enough. So let's just, hold fort a little bit. Let's see how today goes. But if you do get a nice pop, it may be a good selling opportunity.
Yeah, travel names, those daily charts, not looking good, to say the least. Speaking of Mark Roberts, let's bring in Mark Roberts, president of Sun Lake Strategies, get his take on this week. And, the first day, really, Mark, welcome, by the way. Hope you had a nice weekend. The first day, really, we're seeing some acceleration here to the downside. It's been a while. I was trying to remember the last time I came into the pre-market to 1+% negativity, right across the board as far as the indexes are concerned. Give us your thoughts overall here. I mean, obviously surrounding the COVID cases here.
Yeah, so a lot of this selling today is more of the same. We had too much complacency to the upside, making the highs. You had a narrowness of stocks making those new highs. The Russell, when we talked a week or so ago at 226, I started getting my short signal. It's trading at 210 now. I'm looking for around 203, 205. That would give me about a 10 or 11% retracement. That would put it into we'll call it pseudo bear market, if you will. But with rates at 122 and the dollar where it is, there's no surprise you're getting this sell-off. It's partly an excuse, partly due to the complacency, and if nothing else, people are starting to take some profits as we get into the end of July.
Yeah, 5-month lows here for the 10-year. Is there a point, coming to the 10-year, is there a point where you start to get concerned?
Not yet. I still see tremendous fear of inflation. I think the dollar's going up for perhaps the right reasons. So for the moment, you could come into this 120, 118 area and it would be okay. I'm still looking for 160, 1.7 toward the end of the year. But for now, it's not the Biden administration or the Treasury or the Fed running these rates. It's traders.
So there's going to be a lot of focus, obviously, today and then probably for the remainder of the coming days, at least this week, on these COVID cases and increasing numbers globally. I think it's important, though, that we really take a step back. I talked about the 7-day average in the U.S. going from 11,000 to 30,000, 7 days over 7 days kind of thing. I think it's important we take a step back and understand, the hospitalizations number is still far lower than it has been. The death rate still far lower than it has been. So vaccines are doing what they're supposed to do. But this Delta thing is around and is going to be a concern here.
Yeah, it's, I won't say it's like a bad flu because it's worse than that for those that are unvaccinated. And unfortunately, the unvaccinated are the ones primarily driving these numbers. Also, you have a lot of children under the age of 12 who obviously are not vaccinated. And we moved all around New Jersey over the weekend. And I have to tell you, 70% of the parents are not putting masks on their small children. I think it's really very irresponsible to those that could suffer by getting a Delta variant hit.
All right, let's switch gears here a little bit. Lots of deal making to talk about this morning. I want to discuss the Zoom announcement today, Five9 being acquired by Zoom for about $15 billion, all stock deal. I mean, obviously, you know, anytime there's a deal announced, the buyer is going to be under pressure a little bit here. But there's also the stay-at-home kind of angle here when it comes to Zoom. We saw Zoom shares benefit, you know, among the most when it was the first go around from COVID. So what do we think of this deal this morning?
I think it took analysts by surprise. We'll have to see how the market treats it once we open this morning. I'm not surprised Zoom is getting more aggressive. They're getting challenged on every front, whether it's Microsoft or others. They have to stay vibrant, and I'm not surprised they've stepped up. But I think the analysts did not expect this to happen as quickly as it did.
Welcome, Stockfather. Look, obviously, we talked last week, and I think one of the things that you had mentioned, I think it was specifically Southwest anyways, and we talked a little bit about the values that were starting to come in, and maybe in the airline space at least, we started to break some of these levels. I know we broke that 50 level to the downside. I was just talking about AAL. You know, how early do you think that we could actually find some bottoms here? Because it feels like a spooky morning, for lack of a better word. And you know, sometimes when there is that blood in the water and you're looking at something as a value, it's time to dip in there. I mean, I'm holding off on banks, but where do you sit on the airlines for an opportunity potentially?
Long-term investor, I'm fully in at 50.
Yeah.
I'm underwater 2.5 points, but I'm not looking at it as a next day move. I probably would buy more if it should get down to 45. Alaska Air, I started a tiny position. I'm going to add to that today. I'm not worried about the domestics at all. I think those are okay. I don't know what happens with international. Delta, less so, but United. We'll see how those play out. The cruise ships, you know, I've been neutral to avoid. I continue to be that way. You know, we're in a process of understanding, do we treat those that are unvaccinated differently than those that are vaccinated? All the restaurants out where I live will not put a sign in the window, either mask must be worn or whatever, but the workers are all wearing masks. So do we do this with cruise ships? Do we do this with venues, AMC and the like? I think various agencies, governments are going to have to figure out what to do, because this is not going to be the first time we see a variant or the last.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, obviously we're getting into earnings. Well, we're already in earnings season. We're getting a few this week. IBM leads the way. So that kind of brings us to, you know, there's been that theme, like old tech has done pretty good, whether you're talking about, you know, Oracle and then you had IBM had on its nice run, but that's been quite the reversal, particularly in this name. And I only look at it specifically because it's first off the bag, and this 137 level, I mean, just from a standpoint of getting the breakout in April, and we've already tested it once, and we're now sitting here. You know, what's your take? And maybe not. Let's not talk FANG for a second, but let's talk about some of the old tech names where they were a really good hiding spot. And you know, what are your thoughts now with an IBM and as I said, Oracle as well?
Oracle, I'm fully in. I've made a great position out of it. IBM, I'm not in. If the numbers are okay, I would buy that next pullback. If not, 130 is that support. That's 8 points below where we are now. It may be a stock I look at if we get down there, but I'm very sensitive to earnings and even more sensitive to guidance.
Right, of course. And speaking along those lines, the dog of FANG, because I want to get to FANG in just a little bit here, is Netflix. So, well, I'm going to say the dog of Fang. Maybe we should have been changing our expectations here and putting a different name in there. But it's whatever. It is what it is. And Netflix, it had a nice little run on it, but it's basically been barcoding, is a term we like to use here when something doesn't move and it resembles the barcode. I mean, I like it. They have the earnings coming out. Disney, that's been very meh. As we get back, and you talked about it with Zoom here, and some of the concern has been the variance, and certainly you think about those stay-at-home names. What are your thoughts when it comes to like a Netflix? Because they're not just as weak as everybody, they're basically flat today. A few names aren't down as many as most, but they're right on this 525 level. Do you see any possible trading opportunity on this name? I know Zoom's in the news because of a deal, but where do you stand on some of the other quote-unquote stay-at-home names being a short-term play?
Well, from the swing trader point of view, I would wait and see like the market is approaching this 42.57 area and then 42.26 area on the futures. So I'm going to look at the futures, and then I'll look to see where Netflix is, if that means that it's more closer to 515 or 508. If it gets ramped up and it's not down 4 early on, but down 10, I'm interested, but I'm looking for we'll call it the rubber band effect, which I talked about ages ago. Nothing goes exactly to price point. There's always an extreme one way or the other. I'm looking for extremes here as far as investing. From your trading point of view, your day trading or short-term trading, just keep tight stops and re-enter if you like the name, but you may fail once or twice before you get that third winner.
Absolutely, Mark. And look, I'll say it selfishly on this one. Every time we talked to you last week, I always open with the airlines. I've said time and time again, I've never been involved or never owned an airline. I've never invested in them. I've just never seen it. And I ask selfishly because I'm starting to look at these and say to myself, okay, where's the point when people are panicking today? Maybe it is today because it's. You just sort of, buy when other people are panicking, and then if you like the value there, Stockfather, you're starting to convince me on that one. So, best of luck as always. You got the blue on today. I don't know any green shirt that maybe is going to save us.
I certainly didn't want to wear red.
Fair enough. Fair enough, Mark. Thank you so much as always, Mark Roberts, Sun Lake Strategies. Best of luck trading this week, and thanks, and we'll see you again on Wednesday.
Okay, take care. Thank you.
All right, guys, a few analyst moves to pass along today. Going to find a lot of negativity, obviously, on this board as well. But a few names of note. Qualcomm on here. Morgan Stanley, the banks we're going to talk about under pressure right across the board. Obviously, with the 10-year moving lower once again. Cenovus Energy, mentioned the energy stocks. Charles Schwab, guys, to the downside today. Robinhood setting their IPO pricing this morning, guys.
Yeah, that's not going to be an IPO that I'm going to be too interested in. I actually wonder if Robinhood IPO, they're going to do the reverse to Robinhood. You know how they're running up a lot of these other stocks? Let's see if they can't find a way to crack Robinhood lower. I don't, I'm not feeling that one. We have NRXP already. Let's start hitting it out, man. Punch this one out of the park right now. $1 plus win. And thank you for the correction. I was saying in the chat, NXRP. It's NRXP, NRX Pharmaceuticals. And yeah, look, not only is it going to be a big day, hopefully for Neil, because it's a short day. People saying this is going to be a big one for him. But we trade price action around here. So a break of 13 was so easy for me anyways to see that break. I think it was probably for all of us. The problem is I didn't have shortable shares at first, so we didn't hit it. We went over, got it, thanks to Day Trade the World for the shorts there. And now we are all the way back down. So now we're paid for the shorts, and now we're $1 plus in the money. Short here, NRXP at $12.98 right now. Our average price was $12.86, but we just got out, so that's a good runner there. And we'll wait on CCL. I mean, whatever. I got a 7-cent loser here. I actually had more shares in NRXP than I did in CCL, so we'll run that one. A little bit of mac and cheesy easiness right there. That's why we're out of 2/3. It was almost too easy. We take about 40 cents on the first piece there at $12.50, and then we get out again at $11.90, which has been the bottom there. So NRXP, let's see where we go here. A little baby pharmaceutical company up a little too much here today. So what a great short that would have been if I was in earlier today, but not. Off $17. Wow. I mean, we missed it already, but we'll take a big win here to start the day in the pre-market, guys.
All right, guys, let's get into what is moving around in the pre-market here. Yeah, this just watching this NRXP, we'll get to it, but cannot get out of its own way right now. To the downside with a few other ones moving in negative territory as well. If you haven't already, but make sure you grab the free morning note, guys. We send it out absolutely every single morning for free before we come on at 8:30. Miss V will help you out in the chat if you want that. The first group, Sean just mentioned one of them, but let's talk about these travel stocks, come up with an idea of how we're going to approach these things this morning because, yeah, accelerating here to the downside. We can look at the cruise lines, the airlines, even as we mentioned, some of the hotels, guys, getting hit here.
I mean, all looking weak. And look, at the end of the day, we just talked about the airlines, of course, with Mark. And if you're not in, it's like you're starting to get some interesting prices. I don't know about the cruise lines because that's just a different beast in terms of altogether in terms of the reopening, as far as I'm concerned. But CCL is always going to be the vehicle to trade in. I tend to think, and everyone's always like, yeah, it's a sell day. It's good for Neil. I mean, most of the shorts that I do are on stocks that are gapping up, like those plays, small caps, things that are breaking out and halting to the upside. So yeah, when it comes to the overall market, I'm not happy when we get the market to the downside. And I look at, of course, my daily chart, that's my 15-minute chart's frozen, that's fine. We'll just go back over to like the 1 minute guys. We just broke in the daily. I don't have any support in CCL till it gets to like 18. So below $20, I just want to be a fader. That's the only thing I had written down. I actually did write down the 18 level just in case something crazy happens this week, but I got that 18 on the daily. If it can get there, I think that's where it finds a little bit of support. It's already giving you like the kind of like push down and consolidate higher, but I wouldn't be too surprised if we just saw a little bit of a test back up. It's just a little bit of a relief rally into like a 20 level. Something obvious like that is what I'd be looking for on CCL. It's hard to get behind today that long unless we're finding a major support level. I mean, is it impossible that this is one of those flush from 930 to like 940 and then we get the market back up? Sure, we've seen that before. It doesn't feel like that coming in this morning, but I've seen crazier things. I just want to be on the south side of it. I'm going to see if it can't get back to this 20 level. Didn't have a chance to short it when it broke, but if it comes back up there, I like it.
All right, Sticky Note Nation Unite. We already have it right here on CCL. So we're talking about this, the 1975 low break. We got it, so we'll wait to see. And I just want to short it. I mean, I talked about shorting it back to 2025 here. We're still watching that. This is now more than $1. I mean, it's already $1 in the money, NXRP. So let's go over to CCL here. Yeah, so a nice little break backside. This is, of course, a 1 minute chart. So we'll see it here. You can see we did have some consolidation at 20 earlier. The high of the day, basically this 2025 in the pre-market. It's higher, but as of 7, I mean, the drop down is huge on this one. Mark just said he's full position on Southwest. Good luck on that one. LUV.NQ. No, .N. Yeah, .NQ. That's what I thought it was. Okay. .NY. Where is it? Here it is. All the way back down. Yeah, he admitted he's down 2 points, so that's good. We like the honesty there. But yeah, committed into this level here. Probably a 44.45. I mean, it's a good trade. I mean, we all don't have perfect trades on, so I think it may be time to start dipping into some value names that you like a Southwest here. I mean, Boeing has down to 211 again. We were just at 240 last week, so come on, charts, let's go. We were just at 240 last week, so this is a big drop down. I mean, look at this. Like, this is where, like, we were just at that 50 period moving average. We talked about this last week. So now you're back down here to 211, the spot that I'm in at. So again, a lot of equity names coming to the downside and a lot of capitalization. No, yeah, market cap coming off these names right now today. So you can just look everywhere you want. Another name is WFC. Now we're just going through the list. We don't even have banks on board, but you're gonna watch banks today as well as WFC breaking down. This 42.50 level is pretty key. So we'll see about WFC going to the downside. Look, it's a nasty day right now, but I think that only down 0.087 on the NASDAQ isn't horrible. So we'll wait to see where we go from here, but 1% seems likely. If we get to the 2% mark, then that's maybe a little bit of a watershed moment, and then we can start buying, but I think it's a little too early to start buying any of these dips.
All right, let's bring in Arun here. An important day to understand what we need to know as far as the futures are concerned and where we might be in trouble, Arun. Yes, it's only 1% at this point, but what are you looking at today?
Well, this is an interesting start to the day. I mean, after we broke 43.30 late in the session on Friday, we went down a little bit to close, and then we just fell apart. And this is typically what happens when the market goes to the downside after having gone straight up without really kind of taking a sell off or just even taking some profit off the table. I'm just talking on the multi-day moves. this is the first time we really got a chance to back off a little bit. So this is a welcome sell-off. In a way, this is kind of a good thing because this kind of gets some sellers off the table, takes some profit off the table, allowing some value buying to step back in for anyone who wants to do some dip buying. It does allow that opportunity. As long as this doesn't extend into something that's triggering more and more stops as we go. Right now, the low point is 60, just almost 62, 63-ish. So as long as we can maintain that low, even the 60s, and not accelerate towards the 50 and take that, I think you have the potential for a counter move after the open. If we can get above 75, I think you find some sort of a baseline, and then you can start looking for some potential long. At least that's what I'm going to do. If we get above 75 and stay above 75, I'm going to go ahead and mark off the current low, which is 60, 62-ish, and look for some bids in the low 70s. And then try to grab a long back towards the top. Now, if we just continue on selling, then I think you just got to go hands off, let the market do what it wants to do. If you want to pick up some shorts as we accelerate, it's got to be a momentum trade. But for me, for now, 75 is the inflection point on whether I stay out or I start to look for some potential bids. Obviously, if this market just starts grinding a little bit, I think then it allows more levels to be developed. But for now, 75 is the marker. The only other level I've got that I can mark off overnight is 43.10. And between 75 and 10, that's 35 points. That's quite the move. So 43.10, there could be some selling, the potential sells around the 4,300 mark with the 43.10 as your stop. But for now, it's got to be that 75. And we got to see how this market wants to go because it is going right back toward the lows. As I talk, it's right back down to 65. Maybe there's some selling left, but I would be paying attention to potential buy the dip opportunities coming up.
Yeah, that wasn't much of a bounce. Thanks, Arun. We appreciate it. We'll check back in again tomorrow morning, guys. Let's move on. Exila Technologies, big mover last week, was one of the latest entrants into the meme stock group. They announced on Friday options trading would be available in New York for the first time, traded 133 plus million shares on Friday. So definitely need to be aware of this one once again, guys.
Yeah, the volume is definitely done well on Exila there, but it's down another 3%. It's looking rather, well, it was looking rather weak. Of course, the 15 still building up there, but this $3 level has stuck out to me. The other one is that 260. So, if 3 is going to break today, I think we said all last week, well, I was sort of mentioning all last week that 260, I felt like a better level here. You're coming off pretty heavily. Usually you anticipate in these pullbacks that you get some consolidation. If a stock like this consolidates higher, whether it's 3 or, as I say, it could be that 260 level, I think it's going to be set up nicely for an eventual run, but you can't ignore that we ended the week basically selling, it was selling off every single day. Like it just couldn't seem to catch a bit of a bid there. I know it just caught one off that $3 range. I think that's what basically has to hold today. If it pushes into 350, no one's going to like this, but if it pushes into 350 today off the open, to me, I think it'll be a short off of that level for me. It's a nice round number. It's that pre-market level, the weakness last week. You put all that together, and I think we have a chance that if it were to show that kind of strength, I'd probably do like a tight stop short off of the 350 level. And then if 3 breaks, I think that 260 is a better place to dip into the long. So I'll be looking at a 3 break on Exila today. It'd be great if it makes that turnaround. I know a lot of people are long this name to be short, and I think when you look at the daily charts, good chance that if it consolidates anywhere between that 260 to 3, that it's probably got another run in it there. Just need this sell volume to slow down a little bit, which hasn't happened just yet.
Yeah, no, I mean, Exila, that's, short stop off a 350 break. I mean, we'll see if that can happen down there, like Neil said, 350 at the top side. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, the volume's only 5 million. It's not doing a whole hell of a lot today, but you did touch 3 and then bounced off 3. So if that's going to be a good indicator there. I wouldn't worry too much about, the volume might not be too correct here because this is showing one print right here anyways of 900,000 shares or something right here. So I don't know what that print was all about, but anyways, 20% of the volume coming on this one print that was either, it's a dark pool dump, it looks like at 8 o'clock, right? So half of, or I guess 20% of the volume is kind of just this up and down wick here that happened at 8 o'clock. So that's just a dumping of shares right there. So, but anyways, it didn't break $3. So the point is that you've wicked down to $3 a couple times. I think that's a good spot that we can either start to get long here around 305, or we wait for that $3 to break and then you hit the short. And when that does go through, $3 short. The last time we broke it, we didn't do too much. We went down 294, 295, 260, 250, 265. So maybe down to 2. So you might get some bounce here around 260, 270. So we'll see what Zila wants to do, but not overly exciting. I think it's better. It might be a little bit better to trade some of the big caps today. Neo's running. We'll talk about that in a minute as well. Space down to 26, 27. I kid last week when it was at 43 that I was going to be a buyer at around this level, so I guess I got to step in at some point. Yeah, Zila right now, it looks like it's coming right down to $3 faster than we thought.
All right, AMC, another one pushing day lows as we speak, right here, right now, guys. We're getting back towards that 32 area. Very important area, obviously, for AMC. A lot of people going to be concerned and watching AMC today. What do we do with this?
You go short. I mean, I just don't. I mean, you could.
I want to
look. You have to watch. I mean, it's on our list. It's our number one stock on our stock on the list here. And I just said it's a big test coming between 32 and 30 there. You got to watch that 31.10 bottom that happened back on July. Here it is right now. Let's go to the 20 period here. July 5th, 14th, I guess. No, it was the 15th. Sorry, did I put 14th on here? Yeah, I put the 14th, but it's not. It's the 15th. Or the pre-market here on the 14th. Or aftermarket. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's this level right here, 31.10. That happens actually in the pre-market on the 15th. So that's a little bit of a level right there to watch out for to see if we can hold that little spot there. But other than that, I mean, AMC hasn't been here in forever. So we're coming now to the downside on AMC. You can see the daily chart. It's right here. The breaking spots are here. We talked about this coming back into the mid-20s. That makes sense if that happens in the next couple days. But I mean, this is a huge, huge breaking spot right here, man, that 31.10 level. So let's wait to see what happens. I'm going to go short 32.50 to start the day.
Yeah, look, it's hard to think anything other than weakness in AMC. If it could have held up, I was watching 33.35. It could have held this level in the pre-market. I was actually thinking that we could have had a bit of a break on AMC, but we're going the other way, and that's just, it is what it is. I mean, the bottom breaking that 31, now that's going to be an actionable event for sure. Probably more of a scalp into 30, I would think. But either way, even if it pops in, I'm looking at, I've never put this trade on AMC, by the way, just the one I'm about to say here. That whole like pop to the upside at 9:30 and then do a bit of a rollover style trade. I've never actually done it on AMC, but as I look at 335 and not the high of the day, sorry, 33.35. That low from Thursday, that higher low, and then below in the aftermarket. I just feel like if it fails at that particular price, I would like it in the pre-market. I just want to get to like very quickly, if I can. I know there's some small caps that are moving. Two of them, SGOC, I didn't see anything. I know the volume spike was there. CYTK, a few of you guys mentioned that one in the chat. I was watching this one. It broke down. It was consolidating higher off this 30 failure. You know, I like these failures at that even dollar range if I'm not going to get like halts off the open. So position when 28.50 broke, but then the 28 level just went as well. So I was able to add to that. Basically 28 is my average price, just a little bit higher than that. Figure you give this one to like that 30 range to the top. There's a nice little cluster here, previous top at, just below that 27 level, takes them out. And then down at this 25, we had a bit of a break and the volume started to pick up in the pre-market. So this is more, some of these high flyers a little bit too high and on a day where the market is weak. Even the ones that normally you think could do the breakout, I'm willing to do that rollover trade in. So CYTK, this one didn't make the watch list, so I wanted to make sure I got that one in.
All right, the LiDAR stocks under pressure as well. That VLDR, day lows as well. CEO stepping down this morning in the pre-market. So another one to watch. Recent lows here for Velodyne, guys, down about 4.5%. Let's talk big banks. All of them under pressure here. I just checked. It's Wells Fargo, it would appear the worst off at this point, about 3.5% as bond yields continue to be under pressure, to say the least, guys.
They're garbage. No, I mean, like it is what it is. I was looking at Morgan Stanley because I actually said at some point I'm going to be stepping into these as to where I want to get some more shares into this name. But no, I don't think we're nearly there yet. This chart's going to stink because my daily chart is what it is. I just think once we get below, and in this particular chart, $89, which was a bit of resistance. Every time it's broken through this price, it's kind of run a little bit here. Trust me when I say so. I wanted to be fading this name, certainly going into it today. I think the support doesn't come until we get to those, maybe the high 70s and the 80s. So I want to be very, very patient with the banks. there's not a ton of volume here, and I kind of am led to rather fade into the trade than do a breakdown. I think the momentum will be there in the AMCs of the world and like the CRTD that I'm in and the CYTK. So, and I do want that CCL if it pops. If I get any kind of sustained strength in the morning in the banks, I think that's the way I'd rather play the short as opposed to just shorting out the bottoms here on something like a Morgan Stanley. And I'm a ways away. Maybe it'll be like later on in the month or maybe early August where I think there's going to be a value to be played here in the banks. And these rates just continue to drop. At some point, what would make sense to me is that they find a floor, and Mark has a fantastic target 1.6. I think we get there. I just have absolutely no clue when it's going to be, and I wouldn't want to step in too early because there's definitely some downside action. And you're seeing 2.5% down on Morgan, which I think is about one of the better names here, tells you the weakness because the market's at 1. You have some staple names that are basically flat in session or barely down. So the banks, they're right in that middle between the reopened names. The financial's not looking too good, but I'd rather fade it into 90 than take a breakdown at 89 when it's doing literally no volume.
Yeah, the volume's really weak, 154,000 shares. I want to take a little bit of a different view here and just I'm going to get aggressive. Like, I think that you got to snap these things here. WFC right now on the daily chart, it looks like it's going to break. I think it's going to break lower. Here's 42.80, 42.50 right here. It's not even that special on the daily chart, but we're right here at 42.50. You can wait to 42. Comes through. We'll average into the short on some of these names. I'm going to pick on what I believe is the worst bank out there, the WFC. So I'm going to try to look at them today, down 3.5%. I mean, the daily chart here doesn't look good because we have all these nasty wicks here. But I mean, 42.50 is right around here. You guys can see that we ticked out right there, 42.30. I just think they have a lot of defense to the upside. I mean, if we get to 44 today, obviously, we'll be back to flat. I don't think that's going to happen, down 3.5%. So we'll fade into it, but I do want to hit it short side if it does go down. So 42.50 there, Ford with a big sell. We've talked about staying away from that. We talked about that at $16. Now it's at $13.20. So that was sort of one that you had to get away from there for sure. Just looking back here, CCL continues its march downside. I'm out of the money on this one, so we'll wait to see where this one goes. We did short rate here in the pre-market, waiting to see for a 20 level. I do have some shorts to average in here. 1997 there. How high did it go? I only went 87, so I got to switch. I guess I got to go to 87. We'll short some more CCL, but for right now, I'm going to be shorting these banks. 10-year, I have to refresh, but 1.222 right now, Brendan. So we'll wait to see. Hard for the banks to make money on some of these spreads.
Yeah, 5-month low for the 10-year this morning. Let's talk space, guys. Blue Origin gets the spotlight tomorrow. With the big launch, Jeff Bezos, of course, going to be a part of that. So all eyes on Blue Origin tomorrow. But space, another 4.5% here, although that appears to be a little bit of buying coming in here, guys.
Yeah, I mean, a little spike. But let's put that spike into context when you put the daily chart back up, right? Like we basically broke through, we just tore through that cluster of support at like 34. We gapped through it and it just absolutely flushed, right? So it was nothing to see at that price. Now you're looking at this 28 level where you're catching a bit of a bounce. I was just saying in the chat, I think, or maybe I said it out loud. I don't know. Either or, this 24 would be the first place where I'd like to see some support come back in before you start thinking about, okay, well, if you like it in the long term, you think there's a good 5-year plan here, where do you want to stick those shares in? I think you got to wait on it at least. But 28 is here. I didn't think it was going to be much of a thing today until it broke through. And anytime you break a key level and then sort of hold it, you have to open your eyes at least a little bit. But let's not forget, almost every single day last week, with kind of like, I'll call it a half exception in the day, that opening push and then fail on Virgin Galactic was a good trade. So I kind of stare this one in the face and say, you got to be willing to at least think about this one through 29. It's trying to press through that range now. I mean, patterns are good until they break. And if you just did that every single day of the week, that one particular setup and trade on Virgin Galactic, that was basically a week maker. And I think I only did it twice. So yeah. I don't want to get too far away from the weakness in Virgin Galactic, but that 28 might be something. I won't be buying there, but anyone that likes the stock, I mean, I don't know. I think it's still probably going to go lower, and I actually think a successful test for Blue Origin, might not be the catalyst for the stock that you want to the upside. So I still kind of am a seller in Virgin Galactic today, even if I kind of think AMC is going to be a better day trade.
But you got to be for long term. Like, I know you're still holding the shares. You just think it's better average in or sell and wait.
No, I'm not.
I don't really know what to do with
I sold way too. Where's the daily? I sold in embarrassingly, and I don't think it was embarrassingly because I didn't think it should have gone back to 60 in the first place. I thought that was crazy. So I sold some in the 40s, and then I sold a bunch at 50 and basically had near nothing left. And I'm like, well, I kind of want to be in this thing longer term, but I think it calms down at some point. They have so many other pitfalls like that. It was a publicity, like, it was kind of a publicity stunt. Like, it was a marketing thing to put Branson into space. They have far more concerns, long term, getting up and down. It's just, I think you got to wait on this one. And realistically, the business is going to be a good one. I believe in space tourism. What else is there to do that's going to blow people's minds away, especially when you've got everything in the world? And I think a lot of people will be looking to that as something exciting. You could just be talking about 2023, right? And at the end of the day, yeah, maybe this thing ends up like barcoding at like 15 to 20, and you got to be willing to accept that on a long-term play. So I just want to be patient with it. That's all. And I all week it's been a sell. Last week, and I think this week, until it proves otherwise, maybe get it back above 30. I think it's still going to be a sell for me.
All right, so the money bags keep come running through here. I got to give a big shout out to the wife here because it was pick 5. She had Morikawa, she had Spieth, she had Koepka, she had Paul Casey. Anyways, we took down second. I had, of course, Rahm and Oosthuizen, which are right here, tied 3, but that wasn't good enough. When you add up the money, it's anybody in the top. So big shout out to the wife there, as she's a superwoman there, taking that down. So good job on the British Open, and congratulations to Morikawa and Spieth. It wasn't exciting. Although I didn't watch the last little bit of it, was super busy, but was watching it all weekend long. Space, yeah, forget it. Neil just talked about it, so we'll worry about that later. AMC down to 32.25. So right there, man, the cash cow is here. We've crushed this name the last couple weeks, man, and days and everything. So I think the more of the same just continues here today with AMC as it just keeps on going to the downside, man. Like that 32.50 break, we even took it before then. This is what I mean. When you believe in something, you just actionable on it, and we'll see where it goes. This bottom, though, 32.25. I think I'll take a piece out. Normally, I do that around the quarters, and then we'll wait to see where we go from here. So let's take a piece off on AMC. If we get it at 27, just put the bid at 27 randomly there. So there it is. So do we get the fill there? Yes, we do. It's not painted on here yet. There it is. There it is. So just paints on. That's a nice little trade for AMC to start the day. So the chef is already cooking here, Brendo.
All right, let's talk Zoom, guys. They acquired, obviously, announcing this morning they're acquiring Five9 Incorporated, $15 billion all-stock transaction. Trying here was down more than 2% just as we're speaking. In fact, trying to bounce back up to where this thing was on Friday, 350 over here on the daily chart, jumping off the page as support.
It's deal Monday, obviously, and look, anytime it's an all-stock deal on a red market, you kind of feel like it's going to get sold a little bit too hard. And as Brendan said, it's all about the key level. I think that's probably the reason why you're getting a little bit of a bounce here. The environment that we're in when it comes to deals, and then taking a little bit longer and antitrust and all that. It's not necessarily, it's a big deal, but I don't tend to think that this will have those types of concerns for Zoom. That's a little bit of a guess. I don't think anyone really knows how M&A is going to play out recently. But I look at this, and it's not a wipeout bottom, but you get a multi-day bottom, at least a couple of days on Zoom, 355, and then it holds a 350 level. If you're going to do a massive all-stock deal in a red market and then make a bottom like this and hold it, that's a pretty bullish sign there. But I always say when it's an all-stock deal that gets announced, you got to look for that play on value and then look to see it bottom out. Usually I look at like 10:30, sometime after that first hour. I'm looking for the market for it to get sold on the open and then maybe catch a bit of a bounce. So yeah, that looks pretty bullish, but usually they even fall a little bit further than I anticipated. I remember with CRM, it fell way further than I anticipated on that first day, but I'd be looking first at that for 350 level. I don't like buying up on a stock, even though all the themes you might like for this morning. I don't like buying up when the acquiring company announces the deal in a weak market. So I'd be looking at that 350 for support and not wanting to play it any other way.
So just to let you guys know, we are fully out of AMC on that dip. So normally I'll tell you if I'm part out or full out or whatever, but there it is. We're fully out on that dip down there. Now we'll see. I just put in the chat there that would see where we can run from here upside. I'm waiting in like the 80s and 90s now. So we'll just take that quick scalp out. Beautiful break there of 32.60, 32.50. We take it. That's a 68 or 58% print that we had, and we covered it there at 25. So AMC right there to start the day, a 33-cent winner to go with our 87-cent winner on NXRP, although this is NRXP. Yeah, that's battling back a little bit as well. Look, I called Zoom on earnings down here around 300, 320, and what a great runner that was. You guys remember that. All the way up to 400, same thing we did. I made the same call on DocuSign as well, and now you're just coming back to the downside. I think Zoom needs to get bought, really, on any dip, but again, you're into this area again. Like, I think you're going to come back to 320 or so before you do anything. Look, if you're nervous about the NASDAQ or basically any market movement right now, then you don't want to buy a lot of these high flyers. You want to stay away from any recent IPOs. I believe you want to get into value. We'll see IBM. My last IBM buy was 118. It went up to 155, 160. We did get out of a little bit, but we're still holding IBM, so we're going to wait for that one. And then this week we have Netflix coming through, which should tell us a little bit. And then next week we have the big boys. So we'll wait to see. Netflix did have a nice little run last week. They're going to come in now. Yeah, I mean, this is what I mean. 560, they came right up to this top, and now you're getting a pullback right into this area where a lot of traders liked it. So interested to see where Netflix goes. I think it's tomorrow or the next day. We'll see Netflix this week, though, either way. If we can come back down to this 510 area, that might be a good pickup even today, guys. I still think Netflix is a super, super strong property.
Netflix is the 20th. Yeah, tomorrow. So we'll watch Netflix for earnings. Got to talk about Chinese stocks. Chinese stocks getting hit once again on continued concerns over government regulations and tech specifically over in China. But the auto-related stocks, and I speak specifically of XPEV, NIO, and also DIDI, one to look at again this morning, guys, under pressure on these regulation concerns. But NIO standing out here this morning, 4.5%. We're grinding along day lows as we speak.
Yeah, it's interesting because I actually had written down thinking, okay, well, 42.50 test on Monday for NIO, and like we talk about DD all the time. XPeng actually decreasing, making a price battle with the one of Tesla's models there. So they have some headlines for themselves, but NIO gapping through what was a key level at least and breaking that 50 period here. So if you're going to play to the south side of a name like this, you kind of have to chase it down. I always look back to see like dip buys on strength. I like selling into any kind of a bump to the upside. I say 40.75. I know it's 40.80 here, a bit of a triple bottom or at least a double bottom that's putting in. If it bounces off this level, I kind of want to play that fade game in NIO. Anything, even if it breaks the pre-market high, I'd still be looking back at that 42.50 because that's a level that I was certainly going to be liking anyways. On NEO, I'm also watching DD, by the way. I think, I know the volume's not where it used to be on DD because, getting a few days away, more and more days away from that IPO, but it is still held that $11 range at the bottom. I kind of feel like whenever that gets tested, whatever day that gets broken, I'm going to be shorting DD through $11. I'm not saying it gets there today, but when the weakness comes in, I want to be making sure that I'm taking that break just because, it just feels like they're a headline every single day, or at least it feels that way. And if that were to go, there's no telling where the bottom could be on a DD. I'm not necessarily shorting that one on a pop. I think the volume's over in NEO. But whether it's today, tomorrow, Thursday, whatever, DD through 11 is a trade that I'm going to have if it breaks.
Yeah, we wrote down here, again, it's on our sticky note. You guys can watch that or find that up on at Trader TV Sean. Oh, yeah, and if you're watching us now, there's at Trader TV Sean fake accounts for all of us, but especially because of Instagram. I'm the only one with Instagram. Instagram, a few fake Trader TV Sean accounts as well. None of us will email you guys or DM you about anything. So other than a conversation that we're already having, we don't sell anything. We don't tell you guys to give us any Bitcoins, or we'll give you the trading secrets. Although I still think we should be releasing some kind of an educational manual here, but we do have some great educational videos up, guys, for free right now. We are working on a few more things, but again, we want to keep the show free and the education free. So watch us at Trader TV Live on YouTube for more of that. So I've already said it that we're going to be shorting this one all the way up to $42. So let's wait to see. It's on the sticky note. I just think that you got to play the weakness here. You could smash it to the downside for sure. I just want to see how the market opens up. I'm already short 3 names, AMC, CCL. Again, we reloaded, by the way, AMC. So there's the out there on it. Actually, I was waiting at 85 there. We didn't get that, or 87. But we'll wait now. AMC, we're reloaded into the short, bang, bang. Now we'll wait to see if we can take another 35 cents or so on that move to the bottom side. And here we go again. So nice little move downside. But needless to say, I think NEO gets shorted all the way up, and then we'll see about a break. I don't want to put too much liquidity or too much equity, into the short, because I do know that this stock can blow up. And we've traded it actually quite well on, I don't have any, none of my ticks are here, but, oh, there they are. Yeah, see, here's an example right here. Wow, that loaded up quite nicely. So again, I just told you about being honest, and this is what we've done. I told you that we tried to buy dips and that we traded it well. Look what happens when I took the blowout top there, right? 43.50. That didn't work. We had to wait for it to pull back to 43 even. So that's 50 cents worth of pain there before buying that bottom and then ripping it. And we got out at the very top as well. So NEO's been a good trade for me in the past. Let's wait to see if we do get a dip buy. I'm almost thinking the opposite today. A dip move up, so a move up and then a dip down into some of these levels that we're looking at here, 40.80 and change. So we'll take some shorts around the mid 40s here. Wow, only 5 minutes. Let's go.
Yeah, 5 minutes ago. I just saw a pretty interesting stat, guys. The NASDAQ down 4 straight days in a row for the first time since May. So that tells you how strong the overall market has been. CYTK popped up in the pre-market here. Positive data out on a study that they were doing. If you go to the daily chart, 28 is a monster level on this thing. It's been up here multiple times before and failed dramatically. Last week we were trading down around 20 to 18, in fact, support on CYTK. So 45%. We're right here right now at $28 above that. Watch the high. It's already been up to $30 today for that one, guys.
Yeah, I wanted to fill at that 28 as well. It broke at the pre-market. I got into it. It then broke down again. I got a little more shares. I got that stop. If it breaks 30, I'm going to be out of that and looking for a re-entry. AEHR, another one, HR Test Systems. Look, they did get an order through, so they actually have positive news today, and this is probably the only one I can find, only gapper I can find showing a lot of strength into the open. Volume is holding up. It's heading into a 5 level. I have nothing on the daily chart that really stands out for me here today, so I kind of look at this one as a potential break at 5. A lot of times I'm looking for that fade play, but fading off of highs, I'm trying to do that in probably far too many stocks already this morning that we've gone through. So AEHR is probably the only thing that I'm looking breakout on right now. It has a chance through 5 even. I think if it dips, it seems like it's always 420. 420 and 450 here, just a couple of good levels. 450 is more psychological. 420 was a bit of a double bottom. I know these wicks, these dark pool wicks, we get asked about them all the time. A lot of these are overnight prints that just get consolidated and come on the tape. Really, this thing did hold 420 twice in the pre-market. Trust me about that. It is what it is. If this does fall, I think that's the place I'd be liking to buy. So looking Zila, a breakdown short, looking breakout AEHR, already into that CYTK. I'm not in Virgin Galactic yet, but it's kind of holding right here at the pre-market high. And I think I missed CCL by maybe 5 or 10 cents. It didn't quite get anywhere close to those 90s. But plenty of action in the market today here, Sean, and there's a lot to look at. Small cap, big cap. Every industry you could think about. There's something here for just about everyone in terms of momentum trading for sure.
Yeah, we're only short everything right now, but it looks like there's going to be some good opportunity. The NASDAQ hasn't done anything. The market hasn't done anything in the last hour. So, literally nothing. Here's 6:30. You're looking at actually, what am I talking about, 2 hours here. The NASDAQ's done nothing. We did get a little bit of a dip down there, but since then, not much. So we'll have to see if we can retest that low. But if we don't retest that low, look at AMD here, 85.70. You're down that 1.3%. I believe they're going to close with Xilinx. NVIDIA's there with ARM Holdings. So 85.70 here, not bad. It has gotten some strength recently off the NASDAQ, not really doing much. So if we do get a rebound, look, I do have some shorts ready to rock and roll. So that will be bad if the market does rip up. But they're on AMC. We've got some CCL short here. We'll average into that one. Have we averaged into CCL short? No, it looks like you just have the, this is CCL. So the 1 minute chart here on CCL. No, we haven't. We're waiting to get this 87 print, so that hasn't come in yet. And then NRXP. So I like AMD on that move upside. What else we have? We're looking at WFC to break lower. Here it comes, 42.70, 42.50, coming hopefully for that one. We'll check the imbalances as promised, guys. There's CCL with a big sell. CCL's now in the money for me, but again, we missed that short there. It did go down to 60s, putting us in the money as well. A big NEO sell, a big Ford sell. I think you can pick Ford up on any discounts in the next couple of days, if not maybe next week or so as Ford. Very, very scary levels coming through with only a minute to go. Oh man, now the daily or the minute chart on Ford won't work, but this is the daily chart I'm talking about coming in right here for Ford. 1250 or so would be a great buying opportunity there, as I think the electrification of their fleet is going to happen beyond meat low. I mean, everything's low today. Let's just get ready, man. Nvidia split is coming up. So
there's also talk of like a Beyond Meat, and well, some of those names getting into fish and seafood products. But one other stock I had, the CRTD. I'm in this one. I didn't average into it just yet, but off a good level, 385 here. I've scalped a couple times out. Monster bid here stacked at 369, so this could pop up and retest 4 even. Just want to say that. And good call having a microchip or a bug in the offices of OPEC or wherever they're doing it. But we didn't talk any oil, Sean, and of course OPEC deal. And oil price starting to come back into the downside. So I just thought I'd throw that one out there. I'm surprised we didn't get to it. 3, 2, and 1. Market is open. NEO already?
We've been talking about selling that for a while, oil, right? So good call on that one. NEO, we're short 41.50 right now. We'll see if we can't bank that. It's 50 cents in the money already to the downside, but we didn't bank it, so we'll have to wait on that one. AMC now we're short 32.70, probably taking some off there. It's been a big morning here as we're 3 for 3 right now and things just moving around.
Yeah, absolutely. Got the CYTK, went down like $1, but then kind of came right away out of the money there. And then is AEHR, which I looked the gift horse in the mouth already on. It does that fail break. And when I take a breakout trade at 9:30, I'm not holding on to it for dear life. There's no dime in hands with that trade. It's like I have 4 shorts are all in the money. The one long, it's a tight stop because that's craziness.
Oh man, this is big time wins, guys. NEO now 50 cents in the money. Guys, big time win right here on NEO. Wow. Bang, bang, bang to the downside. Look at this short. We told you 41.50. You got to reward yourselves. Look at AMC. Bang for AMC as we go, guys. The money bag's coming in there. We're just huge right now. Neil, I hope you got some winners as well, bud.
I mean, I got that Virgin Galactic for the rollover, and it may be the strongest one. I looked gift horse in the mouth, pre-market high 29, tried to get out in front of it. Now it's running to the upside. NEO was a good one as well, but then it popped right back up to 41.60, so I want to average into that one. And then CCL also popping. Some strength coming back into some of these names, because I just got CCL into my 5th short now, as you're getting like a it's not barcoding, but like whippy action here. So I want to hold off on averaging into Virgin Galactic, because like whip up and down 50 cents like 3 times. I saw NEO do the same thing. I just saw CCL do the same thing. The small caps haven't done that to me. But here's NEO. I didn't get out again, just like on CCL on the space chart. And then NEO testing back up towards that pre-market high. So as it gets to that 41.80 area, that's where I want to calm down and be able to reload into that short.
Yeah, exactly. So right now, we're going nuts right now, guys. NXRP, $1 in the money. WFC, we cashed out of our AMC for a big win as well. Out here at 32. I mean, the same levels again. And then we re-shorted up here, man. This is a busy day and a very good, profitable one for us. What's up, B?
One popping up here, guys, early on. Plug. Didn't see this one at all in the pre-market, but was down with everything else, just blasting through. $25, guys. Huge volume alert there for Plug. Now down
AMC. Yeah, big time mover. Yeah, we'll look at Plug as well. AMC short now. Man, I'm going to get in crap today from all the apes, because all we've been doing now is shorting AMC, but we've been cashing in on it. So that's good for us. 7 cents in the money now on NEO. Nothing happening here. AMC 75 cents in the money. WFC ripping, or not ripping, but making moves right now. We are short 43.23 on that name, but everything making some money here today. It's been a big monster open.
Yeah, and here's that little pop that we just got here in CCL. I finally got that 20 push. We got 1996. Why not? Like, he just came back into that 75, so I'll take quarters. If I'm playing evens, I'm taking quarters, I'm taking 50s. I'll reload if I can in those 90s, but it's been whipsaw action. I think the play actually has been, you got that level at the open, and you kind of are trying to play it both ways here. You get in, you get out, scalp a little bit, maintain that core position to the best of your abilities, and so far, so good. Virgin Galactic, I finally was able to catch a little bit of that bid, so that rollover 930 trade, it still worked, but we've bounced off VWAP, so I can't ignore that small strength that Virgin is putting in here today. Brendo?
Talk of more COVID cases benefiting some of the vaccine makers. Remember last week, guys, Moderna added to the S&P 500, or the announcement came out anyways. Another day, market down. Moderna doesn't care. All-time highs once again today for mRNA.
Yeah, I mean, you got to hide
That's
somewhere,
tomorrow.
right? And I think that some of those plays are good spots to hide. Some of those vaccine plays for sure. WFC goes down to 11s, man, and we didn't take it, so I did put a bid there right now. We got to get out if WFC tests those 42, 43 areas one more time. But NXRP still $1.24 in the money. NEO 40 cents now in the money, and moving to the downside, man. AMC now $1 plus in the money as well. So things moving for me and actually trading quite nicely. I'm just going to wait on CCL. We do have this 2025 area coming through, so this could be the first loser for us today, but we just started, so let's wait to see where we go. But right now, CCL to the upside, that's the one that I'm most worried about right now. But AMC now 85 cents in the money off some nice reloads, but we're right back into this spot. Let's take out some more AMC, and then if it continues to rock to the downside, that's where we'll get out, right? So take another bid out right now. We've just been rinsing all of these out. So here goes AMC, man, $1 now. We're short 33.24, guys. Look at this short of the day right now. Let's just go in on this, and let's just keep the music playing here. What's up, Valeria?
I'm going to... it's the reload of the coffee. Thank you very much, Ms. V. We just got a little bit of a flush there in CYTK. I know I flushed myself down the toilet when it's a good short. So we just got some out of 27. I was able to get that pop into the open right here. We got like 28.50. We're still looking at that 30 high. Brennan talked about that daily chart level at 28. So big time battle being waged. And because of the way the morning's going, it's like scalp some profit off. If you can take $1 winner here, you bank that $1. If it tries to test the high, I'll continuously short this one off for the 30 range. So CYTK has been a good one so far. That CRTD, which was the other small cap, here this one is absolutely flushing down to 360. I was able to reload that on the 930 play. I said I had a lot of these stocks, so there's CYTK breaking through the long. That just broke that $30 range to the upside, guys, so we're quickly reversed the long, scalped a little bit of it out immediately. Now it's trying to test back down. But this CRTD, we got that one also on that fade play at 930. Had a lot of these that we were trying to put on. We got the shorts. This one looks more safe in the money. And watch out, Virgin Galactic. I scalped them out. Now it's up at that 30 range. So if I'm going to continue to short the pops until it proves me wrong, I'm going to try this 30 range. It just broke and got to 30. I think I saw 30.20, but maybe it didn't actually break 30 even. I'm going to try and get a reload on Virgin Galactic. Maybe it is today. But until the short is really wrong, I'm going to stay on the south side of it.
Yeah, Neo, yup. We'll text that out or tweet that out as Neo right now. Look at this, man. Look at that short 41.50, man. We called that for you, and we're long Virgin Galactic now through 30. So it does finally break that 30 level. Let's see where we go from here, though. What's up, Brendan?
Sean, you mentioned AMD. I just noticed NVIDIA as well. Red to green there, very, very briefly, but did go positive or trying to get back above where we were on Friday. Anyways, tomorrow, guys, remember, it will start trading split adjusted for NVDA.
All right.
Right, yeah, exactly. That's another one we got to watch for definitely this week. I do want to come back to, by the way, anyone watching AHT, that was a 10-1 reverse split. You are not ridiculously wealthy. It's just a reverse split on you guys. So that NIO, NEO, we always talked about this one. It did do that same thing, but I actually missed out on the pre-market low there just now, 40.65. So I'll do this to myself. If we're getting that double top, getting some out of VWAP, that's good. The bad is getting absolutely nothing at this bottom. If it gets back below 41, I'm going to have to start taking some more profit out on that NEO trade. It's just kind of ridiculous. I was going to short again if it got into the 41.50s. It just has not got there. And then Virgin Galactic, thank you very much, Virgin. We're able to get some shares there in that last spike to 30, but like I said, maybe this is the day that it breaks through. It did barely get through that 30-20 level. I saw like one print up and then wick right back down. I'll definitely take profit in front of VWAP. The day this actually decides to go, it probably does have a big run in it, so you don't want to get too far off guard, but the shorts have been pretty solid on that for like, I don't know, how many days in a row? It's like a bunch.
Yeah, a lot. Okay, we're still rocking and rolling here as well, guys. So yeah, big trade on NEO here. We'll wait to see where that goes. CCL now back into the money. We've reloaded on this one, so we'll see if the cash can come in here. But yeah, we're making a lot of money today, guys. NRXP to the downside. This is $1.70 in the money. I mean, what else are we doing? I mean, we're doing everything. AMC, look. I mean, I can't. People are going to think, Neil, that when they see these fills that they're not real. But, I mean, like 33.25, that's the high. That's a short we have on right there. This is an out that we had. Like, I'm always getting out at 31.50s. We talk about that, guys. So, I mean, this is my AMC trading today. Short, 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 out, out, out. So now we're flat on AMC. This is how we're doing it. This is how I trade. So every single day, hopefully you guys can come back. We can hit some of these winners together, man. That's what it's all about. Space, relatively small position. You know, I only really want to go short this game. I think we can get long like 22 $23 at some point, but we did take that 30 break. So again, back to 29, and we'll get out of this for sure. I may average in, I probably will not. Like I said, not a big position. We can afford this one loser here today. So it's just been a monster day. We're already I'm already one of the top days, even from last week. So the money just keeps on coming in. Let's just find you guys some more opportunities.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about with that Virgin Galactic. We did get that top there. It's trying to hold VWAP, so you can't ignore that relative strength that it's kind of putting in there, guys. I have another bid out in front of VWAP to make sure we take some profit on it. CCL here, this is starting to roll over. It just creeping, and look how whipsaw. We were talking about how whipsaw action this was in a lot of these stocks. Topping out, and flashing back in. I think we're actually starting to break down here, so I think this is where you calm down, hold on to a few of these. I just got that Virgin, some of those shares out in front of VWAP for like 60, 70 cents. Now we'll hold on to the rest. We got 29.90 off that 30 level. CRTD looking okay. NEO still looking pretty solid to that south side trade. I mean, I didn't think banks would be at the front of my list, so I kind of ignored that Morgan Stanley. Not going to check back in on it, but this is a missed opportunity. How many times is SGOC gonna, oh my goodness, like every time it tries to pop and break out at the open, it just reverses so hard, right? So this is what we talked about last week. I hope no one got caught in this one because it did this 3 times in a row. When a pre-market volume would spike up, it would fail, it would be a good break at the open and then fail pretty hard there, guys. It's doing exactly the same thing. These patterns are good until they're not. And I tend to say you just stick with them. I missed a chance there because we had a million shorts at the same time, so wasn't into SGOC. Hopefully, no one got caught in that one.
Yeah, guys, the destruction continues, man. I mean, CCL right now to the downside, like hell's to the on this one as we reloaded this stock, guys. So CCL now a big win. Let's see if we get a bid on is that CCL? Yeah, bid 71, 72. We're short 87s right now. Let's take another piece off at 71 if we can. There we go. We'll take another piece off. So back-to-back jacks right there. Thank you to Dan McIsaac. Yeah, we literally are doing really well today. So WFC, I mean, you want to talk about doing well. Like, you know, if you guys aren't part of this, Sticky Note Nation, guys, it's completely free. Like, look what we have on here. AMC shorts. It's been disaster. I mean, that's already going to be the trade of the day, I believe. CCL is already on there to the short side. WFC 4250, Neo shorts. Like, let's go. Like, what else do we want? Spoon feed, Brendan. Let's go.
One we looked at last week, guys, not terribly exciting now that I look at it, but volume higher than expected or higher on the relative scale. For this one again, this LKCO. Remember, there was a couple of days last week this thing made some decent moves, but down 3% today.
Yeah, there was so many stocks. How many chances did it give you? Virgin Galactic, look, it's going to be one of those, like, you had to sit through this thing faking you out a little bit, but it is what it is at this point. I mean, you're going to get this little fade in. It's about $1.20 in the money, but there are some support levels. There is that 28. I know I like 24, but we did say 28 could turn into a little bit of a thing here off of the open. So if it gets down there, you'll probably see me cover. I want to be a fade on any kind of a pop, especially now that we're below VWAP. If it touches 28 even, I'm looking for a pop back into that 29 or VWAP in specific action. The only thing, the CRTD, by the way, is, look, I mean, now we're like $1.20 in the money there. The CRTD just bounced. I had bids in front of pre-market lows. It's making another spike into the high at 4. Look, this time I want to have a less sloppy fill. I got 388s in. I'd rather get something in the 90s if this pops back up, and I got to have a 4 stop on this thing. I mean, I'm not going to let it break 4 even. It's too obvious of a level on one of these small caps not to just get out, especially when the other shorts have all been so good. And I just got Zila, so that means Zila must have broken $3 because that's the only way I was getting into that one.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Zila. We'll go yup times 2 here on CCL. We'll look at Zila in a minute. We did forget about that one. CCL now 30 cents in the money. Neo now 70 cents in the money. NRXP now $1.70 in the money. WFC now 60 cents in the money. And yeah, I mean, look what kind of a day we're having, guys. We talked about the shorts. Every single trade I've had on, except for space that we lose the dollar on, every single trade has been short, guys. And we are huge today. It's been such a great day. Thank you again, guys, for watching. If we can't have you guys trade along with us, at least you're watching us. So good days today, man, as the market kind of rebounding, but like I said, still very, very flat. It hasn't done much. We test the bottom. Now we're heading to the upside. Maybe it's time to cash out to some of these Neo 50 cents in the money. This is probably a decent cash if we come back down to here, 40.75. What up, Ms. V?
Hey Sean, Moderna is looking strong today. Stock is up more than 4%. Could you guys give us a quick review on Moderna?
Sure. I mean, I love Moderna. I've been talking about Moderna for a very, very long time. We're long in the 160s or 155 area, something like that. We recommended. It's a small position. It's small. I didn't love the vaccines, but when we were asked questions about it way back in here, and then we were kept breaking through this 150 mark. You know what? Like with more variants coming through, and again, like I know people were talking about Mark Roberts and talking about vaccines and things like that. Remember, we're talking about them here as not as political, preferences on whether or not you have the vaccine or not, or where it goes. But if you're going to invest in a company, I think Moderna right now, they were able to get the vaccine, whether or not you believe in it or not, within a few hours of receiving the actual virus. So I like Moderna to the upside. I think we're in a world now where this is going to be a very, very high concern for many people. So I like Moderna going forward. But again, it's buy the rumor, sell the news. So they're getting added. So we're going to watch out. I think it's way, way extended. I would prefer shorts rather than longs just because of that. We've seen what happened to Apple and to Tesla. And to NVIDIA, right? Literally happening right now. Getting the bump into that split. And then with a week to go, NVIDIA's just been getting crapped on. Of course, that's the market. But just to let you know, that is what happens, guys. Big time wins everywhere today. NEO, CCL, whatever. Let's just keep on rocking and rolling.
Yeah, and watch out for that CLDR. It was just popping back through that CLDR. What am I talking about? That's another stock I just randomly got into. But I was talking about CRTD. There we go. CRTD. Halts the upside. I said, we'll get in at a better price. So it was like mid-90s, 94 actually. And then I want to cover. This is me covering at the 4 breaks. That's my stop order. But then it's halting to the upside. Halting to the upside, testing pre-market highs. Actually, last week I tried to get into a couple of these. This time I actually got a fill. So I was able to get long at 419 here. You're going to see CRTD, a bit of a chance. And look what happens on this thing if it's through 450. I mean, look, I'm not saying it's going through 450, but if this thing actually opens up above that, could be a bit of a run into that $5 range. So I am long 419 on this halt. Dan, I know you ask, is it 5 or 10 minutes? I actually don't know. It could be one or the other. I just know it's a volatility halt. Sometimes it's 5, sometimes it's 10. I'm not always sure why it's one or the other, to be honest with you.
Okay, guys, CCL there. I mean, here we go, man. Another 40-cent win. I mean, look at this. This is what we're talking about. We shorted very, very light in the pre-market. We let it rip up. I mean, basically working as planned here on CCL. Beautiful out there, 1965. So now we're getting lighter on these positions. WFC, we only have a third left. We cashed some out there at 43 for that 30 cents. And then we take out about, what is this position? 43.20 out, 42.67. So another 50 cents there, so we're starting to lighten up. NRXP, I got to pay a little bit of attention to this one as maybe we bottomed at 11, so let's take this out if it breaks through 11.50. That's NXRP, but hey, everything rocking right now. NEO, we did give up the ghost a little bit on NEO, man. We only got out of half right there. Still waiting for downside move. Let's see if the NASDAQ can withstand this rip up here. Not sure what we're going to see from here, but NASDAQ making moves back to the upside.
Sean, before we go to Brennan, Ken H, Moxie, 200,000 shares in the offer. We saw those offers last week, and we made some money trading into the short side. It's more than that. This is 500. There's a 500,000 shares on that offer at 26.30 on Moxie. So I want to be shorting in front of this thing. It was good money in the afternoon, a couple of sessions Thursday and Friday, I believe. Let's go to Brendan, but a big order on Moxie on the sell side.
Signs of strength, guys, coming from a few individual tech names. HPQ, just noticed went red to green there as well from Friday back above 27.5. That area held initially as resistance, but HPQ on volume as well, trying to get back to the upside.
Yeah, I really like that AMD call that I had there, but it just didn't happen yet. It may happen right now, this 85.70. So we're right here. I just want to bring everyone's attention. This could be our second long as space, right now, basically back to 30. So we got out there for that dollar loser. This is going to be my only losing trade on today is going to be SPCE, but we'll wait to see. This story's not over by a lot of stretch of the imagination here, as NASDAQ coming back high here. So we'll see. If NASDAQ takes this out, we'll get AMD, and then we'll see if NASDAQ can't retrace back. But if we do get AMD, which we should any minute now, maybe, anyways, I don't think we can let this thing go too far back against us. So I'm always looking at these VWAPs here. Okay, that's 85. So just as many winners as we've had, everything can turn around. So please, make sure. That's why we're pretty light on everything. We are giving a little bit back now. NRXP didn't break that 1150. We're waiting for that to happen. WFC, we've cashed out of 2/3 of that already. AMC, we're completely out of AMC after getting the top wick and the bottom wick ins there. So everything going really, really well for us today. But please don't get over cocky. Even though it's only 9:48, I am lightening the trade. It's just been that kind of a morning, guys, where we can afford to lighten up trade. We don't have to go crazy. Let's wait to see some of the action here. I am debating a reload in an AMC short at some point.
And we'll do this for that halt to reopen on CRTV. It does go right to that 450, but immediately fails. So some at 440, it was a 419 to the long side trade. I always bank at minimum half a position. If you're holding through a halt, whether it's for or against, I don't care. You're always going to take advantage of it. But if it breaks and holds above 450, like I said, runway to 5 even. So I want to get a 450 break if we can catch it. Looks like it's happening right now, but going to Brendan, did I hear?
Yeah, a couple things on Peloton, guys. Just noticed Peloton, another one. Relative strength so far this morning. They're going to launch an in-app video game where you pedal to control a rolling wheel. That doesn't sound terribly exciting, but Peloton having a nice day here. 3% so far, guys, up a couple dollars.
I mean, no matter, again, Peloton's one of those names. No matter what you think about Peloton, guys, like they're controlling a lot of that market. So with again, with more variants coming through now, different things starting to happen. Well, there's only one variant, but with more of that stuff happening right now, I think Peloton is an opportunity to stay home, play again with a lot of our friends. I mean, we got together with a bunch of them. A lot of them just working from home and have no clue when they're going to go back, or they may not even have to go back. So, okay, Boeing right here, 209. I like that break. What up to Sterling Silver? What's up, my man, Sterling Silver? Cash cow right there as well. 209 coming through there. Yeah, right there and change. So Boeing is down a lot there. I do know that, and you are right. Sterling Silver, as it just keeps on pumping to the downside. As you can see what's happening right now with the NASDAQ down, 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 down. And our positions just keep getting more and more sticky, guys. NXRP, the biggest winner for me today, $2 in the money. Not the biggest financially. That's going to be AMC, but you're going to see this one moving to the downside. We also did crush WFC, which is now back down to its lows of the day. So we're having a lot of fun here today. It has been a good one, especially for the banks if you're short. Space, though, my only loser, would now be in the money. So there you go. So sometimes, I talked about it, and you can't be so disciplined like I believe I am and not get that out when it follows your rules back through VWAP. But I did like space a little bit to the long side there through 30. Unfortunately, we did get jiggled out. Hey, it happens to us all.
And that CRTD looks like it was definitely going to be a bit of a good out to cover at that pre-market, at that reopen in front of 450. I just tried the long bounce, and look, that's it just showed up here in the chart there, guys. We just got that long at 425, and then it breaks the pre-market, sorry, not the pre-market, that opening, reopen, or the halt price there at 419. I'm always going to cover at those halt prices. Those are key levels for me. This looks like it could be a failed break. I mean, 450, I said it had to get through that. It does not. So it's going to be a fade off that 450 level the next time it comes to the upside. I got it at Virgin Glad to crack the top. Looks like maybe it is today, Sean. So I'll do this for, well, I shouldn't do that because I should technically be happy when Virgin goes up, although I have not added to the position in the long term, so I don't want it to go without me. NIO is, this is one where we definitely stared the gift horse in the mouth at the bottom at 450 there. It's now starting to come back up, not nearly pushing as hard like you see like space pushing the highs of the day and breaking them. You're still below that 42 level. There's that 4250 floor that it had in the end of the week last week. So a couple of levels I want to still be using for that short trade. Just haven't had any real test here on NIO. So that Zila and Neo are the last short standing, at least on my board here, all still looking okay, although Zila hasn't had a ton of action below that 3. Brennan?
Just checking on Walmart, guys. Some of the retailers popping up here also showing strength. Not only red to green, but then some. 1% already straight higher for Walmart, guys.
Attaboy Walmart, attaboy Walmart. One of my only retail names that I have there is Walmart. Okay, so we're in it, man. It's a little bit of a spicy meatball here for us. So let's wait to see what happens now with our favorite chip maker, AMD. Looks like we're going to get out of a little bit. We talked about it taking out the top there, and now the NASDAQ just falls right back down. So this looks like this will be a hit spot for us one more time here on AMD. So again, the only times we've lost today are on our longs. So we get out 2/3 right there as it breaks back down through 50. Now we'll wait for 85. So AMD to the upside there. These longs are very, very, I'll let you guys know like when we're at levels that we really are concerned with here, and where we'll really load up some of these longs. We talked about it today into the NASDAQ, and that it would be a negative day. When we started to talk about this, it was 0.8, so you got to be very, very careful. Now we'll hold one small piece now for AMD and see if we can't go positive on it if it breaks back above 86. But for right now, AMD's in trouble. That's a trouble spot for us right now. That's the only long that we have on board. NEO's still 30 cents. Like, that's the thing. We're 30 cents in the money. We just take a 20-cent hit on AMD, so we can withstand that. WFC, though, guys, you know, we take that short through 42.50. Again, we had that order in there from the pre-market 42.50. So again, a little bit of a low take there. We should have canceled that. I wish I would have saw that. This reminds me, this is a good opportunity that if you do have anything like locked and loaded, like off your sticky note or anything like that, you may want to double check right now as some of the levels, you know, aren't true because we've already had some of that movement. So just watch out for your sticky note levels, guys.
That's the thing. Like, when you put those stops in, there's a different set of conditions when the market hasn't opened as opposed to when you've already had that whipsaw action. NEO just broke VWAP again here. I still have only really shorted that 50 level a couple of times here, that cluster you saw in the pre-market. If it hits that low of the day and bounces off it again, I'm going to cover NIO. It's just kind of, it's showing a few signs of strength here, and I did miss that chance to reload, unfortunately. But you want to make sure you get that profit out, like I said. CCL, same thing. Zila, I talked about it, but didn't actually show it to you guys. Zila breaks that 3. Come on. Zila breaks that 3. Hits my bot. It gets to the bid at 92s where I'm sitting there for like 5 or 6 cents. It comes back up to VWAP. I miss it by a penny or two there. This time, if it tests a low, going to be covering some profit because, like I say, you can't look that gift horse in the mouth. Not in this market. It's been very, very whipsaw action. Moxie, unable to get the fill. Like, usually, when this was a good trade, that Moxie off the big size, you were getting it right in front of that level, but there's no volume here, unfortunately. So I might actually have to take the short a little bit away from that price, which means you got to take less shares the further you're away. Like, you'll take a bunch of shares in front of like a 500,000 share order when you're getting, you know, 26.25 in front of a 31 offer. If you're taking it at 40, 50 cents away, I kind of have to change the amount that I will want to be getting into it, but I still like it. If it breaks 31, it's just an automatic out off of that level.
Man, oh man, oh man, we just missed that one. That would have been a gift horse there if we would have had it. 85, we just talked about it coming down to VWAP and that we would protect that. It comes down there, we don't even put any bids out, so now we have a bid out there. That was my bad on that one, guys. We should have had an offer, or sorry, a bid out there passively. And then what I mean by having bids, remember, bid is going to be the left side, the offer is going to be the right side. So bid, ask, you'll hear that be talked about all the time. So this is where all the buyers line up. So right now I'm lined up at 85.12. I mean, the lineup's not going to matter. It's going to come down and fill me. But we are at 85.12 right now. And how it works, if you're not doing pay for order flow through Robinhood or Webull or something like that, there's actually a queue that you wait in line. So if you want to get lifted off the market, and again, this is not Webull or Robinhood where it's pay for order flow, but or other ones, other names as well. But right here, that's how it works. So I'm on the bid down here, and it's my bad. I should have got picked up there. Now we'd have a winner. We'd back to flat right now on AMD. But for now, we'll wait. WFC, sorry, coming to the downside. We did take off a little bit. So now we are short this 42.50. So let's see if we can't get a winner out of this one. What's up, Brendo?
More evidence of some retail strength, guys. Kroger, KR, popping up here, day highs. Now 3% to the upside. Broke that last high on the daily chart this morning, which was around that $40 even level. Nice looking chart for Kroger.
And CCL continues to fall, so we'll flush that one down the toilet. I'm looking at NEO because it's not really at those lows yet. I'm looking to get out in front of those lows, but I mean, CCL just continues to flush. It popped into that 20 level that we wanted to be able to get. We got that 98 short. We talk about quarters and 50s here. There's no bid at 50, I can tell you that right now. Only a couple thousand shares. The same as every other level, of course. Somehow that's still on my NEO chart there. But that's same on this level here at 50. Not a heck of a lot. It looks like it's about to chew through that. I'll look back to those quarters because it feels like CCL is going to continue to crush to the downside. I finally got into Moxie there, but it's just a few shares because we're not actually at that 26.31 order, obviously. I see you talking about Tesla. I haven't even looked at Tesla yet, but I will now, Jude. It's a weak market, so you kind of want to look at the things that you like to see where they are in price levels. 625 on Tesla. I mean, it's not 600, but certainly some weakness in Tesla this morning.
Yeah, no, yeah, I'm not.
I thought it was lower.
I'm not worried about. I mean, I don't think you guys should be really worried about Tesla by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, I think you just got to keep buying that on any weakness. I mean, I'm long. I was able to, I mean, I can show you guys. I was able to buy it. And I think this is why I think you got to have some powder. So I do want to sell probably after the show. I'll be lightening it up. And again, I don't have a problem, telling you guys what my plan of action is. Lightening up after the show, probably on some of the banks. I'm hella long. JP Morgan, what's up? To Daryl, hopefully you're with me here. I'll probably lighten up on some SPG, some JPM. That's maybe about it. I may dump some Apple. A little bit worried into major tech earnings next week, but we'll see where that goes. But look, my first, honestly, like I was buying Tesla like $30, $40, like when it first came out, but I dumped it. Same as Netflix. Like those are my worst decisions pretty much ever of all time for as far as investing is concerned. But then we were actually talking about this on Friday, and it was about having powder. There was a trader in the office, and I remember him when I bought Tesla down here at 70 or 70, like $80 basically. At the time it was $235. I can show you. I have the print in my account. He said, "Well, why would you be buying it here? Let's just talk about this. Like when it's going to come all the way down here, like this is going to get absolutely killed." But again, into that, like now buying Tesla 80 and seeing it at 650 in just over. I mean, this is 2020, right? So we're only in July of 2021. Like, look at this move. This is Tesla 10x. To the top, but now you're like 8x, 9x here in just over a year. So I think that sometimes you sort of gotta zoom out a little bit when you're looking at some of these time frames. If you've just got your money in the last month or two, sure, you may or may not be down. I'm not just talking about Tesla, but in general, right? So you gotta look a little bit, you gotta sort of zoom back a little bit to analyze some of these trades, guys, and the positions you're in, right? I would never talk like that about NRXP because NRXP, again, this was a decent trade for me. Remember we had more shares on NRXP than we did on, I forget what it was, CCL or something earlier. We did like this 13 break. I mean, that was about as clear as day. So that's a beautiful win here. I mean, I don't know what we're going to choose for the trade today, but there's a couple on here that we could. We're going to wait for AMD as well to the downside, and then check out AMC, guys. Wow, that should have been reloaded. We used to have bottom Wiccans. Now it's all the way down to 31 again. So let's wait to see where we go. But we're monstrous today. It's been a great day. No LFT. We've made back all of our losses. Now let's just hope AMD can rip to the high side. And by the way, CCL also at day's low. So I know I'm talking a lot, but we'll hit the ape right now because it's been a good day. Check out the sticky note, guys, at Trader TV Sean. You'll find that every single day. Sterling, what do I think about Boeing? We'll talk about that. Well, Neil will talk because I need to refresh. And then we'll get to Brendan right now at the big board. I like Boeing, so you guys know that.
Hey guys, 10 o'clock. Let's have a look at where things stand. Pretty red still, right across the board. I want to start down here. The Russell, we were talking about the pre-market there, leading, in fact, 2 full percent now to the downside for the Russell. You can see the NASDAQ, both the composite 100, about the same, more or less, 1.5, 1.36 there in negative territory. The Dow under pressure, almost 2%. S&P 1.7%. So yeah, some day lows being made right across the board. Let's shift over, if we can. There, guys, thank you so much. To a couple things we were talking about in the pre-market. Zoom. Yeah, no one really caring too much about that news this morning on Zoom. Day lows as we speak right now. There's a lot of volume, it's worth noting, on Zoom this morning, but still pretty red, down 4 now for Zoom. One more, we'll shift over here to Virgin Galactic. Was up more than that, but another one that has gone red to green. Definitely some strength coming back into Virgin. Guys, back over to you.
Yeah, and we talk about that in Zoom. When it's like on a weekday with a deal, a big deal, you got to expect the sell-off to be deep at least. And then we talk about, like I said, like 10:30 is when they start to like pick a bottom. It's just, I don't know, that's just from years of trading lots of buyouts. There's nothing scientific about it. It's just honestly a little bit of pattern recognition. I actually think, and you guys are going to like this probably, Zila looking pretty strong here. It's testing back up. I missed it the first time it got into that 306, 307 range. I'll only average in at this price. I didn't catch it the first time. If it breaks 310, I'm going to be out of here and we take the hit there. NEO is starting to get it's starting to actually break finally down back to that 450 level. But I am going to, like I said, I was going to cover it here. I'm getting right out here at that 40.65. It'll be case closed, at least for now on NIO. If the market continues to fall, I want to reload that CCL. I think there's a chance you get an even break at 40.50, but I also think there's a good chance I can get that little bit of a short pop into it. That CRTD, this was the halt trade. Keep in mind, we got the halt up, we held it in, we took 2/3 of it out like we always do on the reopen trade. That was a good one. And then tried long off the halt price. It was a loser. Whenever that happens, whenever we get like a one halt up, failed to the next level at 450. I either want to fade off 450, obviously I didn't get that. And then you get the consolidation lower right below VWAP. So I'm short in front of 420, probably for the rest of the day as long as it cooperates. My short is right now at 401. I would add to this one in front of 420. But CRTD, just another. And then Moxie's doing absolutely nothing. The volume's not there. But that monster seller, I'll sell in front of it every chance that I get until that seller is gone. We've seen it all. We saw it all last week, and it was a good trade. So even without volume, I'll take that shot on Moxie.
Yeah, we're also out there on NEO, same price, basically right here, 40.75. So, like we talked about it all the time, that we like to get out on those evens quarter numbers. So 25, 50, 75 flat. So that's where we get out, and that's where we just did. So needless to say, good trade there, I think, anyways, for us on that name. So we'll wait to see where we want to go from here on that. But right now, a good trade on NIO. I know Neil just talked about it, but we are out as well. And then 1150 is coming back here. This held 11, so we were just hoping that maybe we would get a break spot there. Doesn't look like that happened. So for right now, we're going to have to wait a little bit. Check back in here on Ether for all you crypto heads like me. Yeah, 18 and change. I mean, we lightened this up at 2,200. We talked about that, right? We lightened up some ADA at about, what was it, 130, 140, something like that. ADA is getting close to being reloaded now at $1, up to 112. But again, you got to look at a longer time frame on some of these names. BTC as well, down. It looks like, I think Bitcoin, guys, I think Bitcoin cracks 29 very, very soon. So we'll wait to see on that one. And again, with all this, September 30th? Okay, yeah, it's not there yet. Why is this line there? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Maybe that's just 30,000. Right here, looking at that 29 level. So we do have some resistance coming through there on crypto. So watch out for Bitcoin, watch out for Ethereum. I like Cardano on any of these dips, and I believe that right now we have Dogecoin, I believe, is like 17 or 18 cents. So I don't think that there's too much case for that one, but we'll wait to see. Okay.
The original creator is like, I'm out of crypto. So, I mean,
what was that?
That was the creators of Dogecoin, or at least one of them anyway.
Yeah,
like
they should have been out a hell of a long time ago, making all that cash.
I want to address Boeing, guys, just because very, very quickly. Boeing is right at major, what you would think would be major support, 205 on the actual bid at Boeing. Look, if it cracks that, I like Boeing last year at a 175. I actually took off a bunch of shares at 250 that looked pretty stupid at the time. It was bad because the timing of it was to go into GE, and that's another story. But Boeing back into 200 to 205. Ooh, interesting level, because you have some cover at this 190. So I don't know, man. I like Boeing. But that's a falling sword that you're catching. They keep getting these negative headlines as well, guys. But at some point, this is just, it's almost too much value not to have a look here. And of course, you then have the reopen plays getting absolutely crushed. But that's a serious drop in Boeing. At least for a day trade rubber band action, watching it off this 205 level looks interesting. And I only say that because you had consolidation at this price before. So 205.50 current low. If there's any bid down there, you might see me scalp trade Boeing for the first time probably ever.
Okay, guys, we are right back, guys, on AMD. Thank God. So the only losing stock we have is going to be Space today, as AMD I told you guys that this was a bid that we wanted. So there we go. Money where our mouth is on this one for AMD, as we take that bid and then now reaping some serious rewards as we go right back into it, man. So there's that bid that we talked about. We were holding it for a little bit lower, defending that 85 area, and now just reaping the benefit of that trade. So right now, a nice little win there. Make sure we take it off at the high of the day. So AMD back to positive land for us on that name. So really happy with the way that is turning out. That's AMD right near for a nice little rip to the upside. So we talk about that. WFC just bouncing around and not really giving me much action here is WFC, as it did break that 50 level, and now we're just waiting for it to make some moves. So we did put that offer out. So right there to get out, these bids to cover, we brought 48s. We covered a couple there at 58 for a dime hit. So we're going to watch out for WFC and see where we go from here. But I am a little nervous as the market's making some moves backside here. Let's see if WFC can't come to the bottom. We have some bids in the 40s, I believe. Yes, we do. Right here at day's low, 41. So we can pick that up. Then we'll feel ourselves pretty lucky here on WFC. But I am watching the upside. We're lightened up on this one.
Yeah, and look, I said I was reversing to be a short, maybe for the rest of the day on CRTD. So I was able to get in a couple times at 4, taking profit already at that 80, that 90, and then 85. I got bids at 75. I'll bid down in the 60s as well. I said it would likely be the first time ever maybe this is not true. I actually think it is though. Then I want just a pure scalp trade on Boeing here immediately. And thank you guys, because you guys asked about Boeing. I wasn't even looking at this stock, to be honest with you. You see that kind of a fall. It's a big time drop. 205 on the daily just sort of stuck out like a thumb. It had already bounced off 205.50, so I put a bid in there. I was able to get 206s, and then with a 1-to-1 up to 206.50. I'm going to take a 50-cent win almost immediately, and then look to hold the rest. And it was just a pure trade off of that level at 205 even on the daily chart. Then you get a bottom at the 50. You catch that break back up through 206. 1-to-1, and see if we can't hold on to maybe like a 207, 207.50 if the market does want to come back to the upside. So major assist to the community here for bringing Boeing to our attention. I love it. Brendo?
Little one, Alpha Pro Tech here, guys. APT, if you remember from way back when the pandemic first started, this one benefited. They make PPE for medical use. Just broke $9 there. Heavy volume, though, 15% for APT.
Man, we are just, Alpha Protect there with the masks. So, again, no surprise that that's coming back into. What up, Tisha? There, I see you. I see you all the time on, is it Instagram or is it Twitter, Tisha? Did I take NRXP? Hell yeah, I took NRXP. Did you see the bottom of the screen? We do have, you like that, Valeria? Hell yeah, we took it. Valeria looks at me whenever I act like that. Okay, so here's NRXP. We did have that early, man, breaking through 13, Tisha. And then there it is. We covered it at 1180. And then we were just talking about it, breaking through 1150 and getting out. So NRXP, again, this could be our trade of the day. There's a lot of them over here, but we'll wait to see. But that one right now, NRXP, we are out of that. It may be a little premature, don't know. But here we go again on NRXP. Let's see where we go from here. I like the name, obviously, today with the volume. But again, I don't know much about the company, so we're going to have to wait on that one. NRXP, we are out of it.
Yeah, and got that reloaded, not reload, but we finally got that Neo on a bit of a pop. Not Neo, Zila on that bit of a pop.
Shit.
It just got to VWAP and then faded. This one, if it breaks at 10, I'm going to be out of this thing if it breaks 10. At some point, these things find a bottom. I thought it would be 260, but if 3 even is going to be a failed break at 3, then that could be it, certainly. I actually just, Boeing's from New York. I just looked at that Boeing and I was like, okay, we're good to go. It looked like it was about to break this 207 and then slam the offer to the downside here. So it's still consolidating right where it did before at this 206.70 area. Nice leg to the upside. I'm not looking at this as a huge reversal like Boeing's about to turn positive on the session. This is like, can it get back to 208? Pure bounce off a level on the daily chart. The market is still heading to the downside here, so it's not like I expect Boeing to hold this reversal. I much prefer obviously, I think that goes without saying, much prefer CCL to the short side, as the cruise lines I think are different from the airspace, but it is now holding a 1950 bottom constantly. I covered Neo, and I dare say it, if we don't get through this 1940 bottom that we have right now, 37, I'm going to probably cover the CCL trade as well. You want to be hanging out here with the market continuing on these lows. I'm expecting, the travel names, if they're not going to get going soon, then you might have at least a little bit of a bounce, maybe back into VWAP. And I still want to short that 20 level if I get it again as well. Brendo?
Man, I wish I saw this one. Crazy mover last week. SGOC gave you a test of 14 there right at the open. Just about to make a day low now, down around 1150, 1175. So back to the downside, to say the least, guys. SGOC.
It's SCOCO, baby. SCOCO. No idea what's going on with that name. We've talked about that a few times. WFC, just let you know we are getting lighter. What's up, Tisha there? I know we talked about that just a couple seconds ago. But yeah, it's from Twitter, so that's good. Thank you for that love on Twitter for sure. But AMD, look, despite the NASDAQ starting to come down here, AMD ripping faces off again to the upside. Go, 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 AMD. The money comes out, man. We literally, as my kids say, Dad, you literally need to play Roblox with me. Dad, you literally need to see this. You literally need to watch AMD going to the upside as, yes, sir, we have one negative stock today. And if I held it, this negative stock would be $1 in the money. So I need a paper hands here because that's what we had on Space. Small hit for me. But again, if those of you that know, I don't like to take these hits. So that's why I'll probably just keep on bringing it up. But that was a hit there. We get out. Again, you got to be disciplined. We always talk about that. Find our videos online, and it comes back to VWAP there. It's been a crazy move the last couple weeks for Space. So that was why we got out there, but now you're seeing it rip to the high side, which is completely fine, man. We are just, really over the moon with some of the success that we've had today. AMC, you know, top wick, bottom wick. I mean, that was top to bottom. Like that's 33.25 there, out 31.50. That's a $2 move in about 3 minutes there on AMC. So just whatever shares you guys are using, like imagine that's a good win for anybody, especially for me. I'll take that. I've been scalping for a while. We like to hold on to a few winners for a bit longer. That NRXP is pretty sweet. We basically have the high of the day on NEO, and then the out, and then pretty close to a good trade on that one. CCL, man, we've been pounding the pavement on this one all morning, so that's been a good short for us. And then WFC, like we got that short, and then we got out, and we got out there, then we took a short on right now, and now we're right back in the money on it. So we'll take one more out here if we get to the bottom of the day. So WFC, another big trade. So it's been a good day. I hope you guys are enjoying yourself. It's already 10:15, so the market's been open 45 minutes. I have 117 fills, and we're loving life over here. What up, Morgan?
And we're having a great day on that CRTD. It continues to fall, but look, if you're trading, it's not a penny stock. If you're trading a penny stock, you just get out in front of this level here. If these do not break the pre-market low, my rule is it could be a runner in the afternoon. So I always make sure I get at least half out in front of pre-market lows. That applies to CRTD. And there is a halt on MTSL. We'll get to that when we come back from Brennan.
Are we going to Brendan?
Are we going to Brennan?
There we go. All right, we'll figure it out. Another one from the pre-market that was up this morning, guys. Slack Technologies, the DOJ, wrapping up their investigation. So it looks like the 21st, this deal could close for Slack and CRM, guys.
So ever since I've been getting these, I got to shout out to my family because Father's Day was pretty sweet, man. We got these sick kicks on here, specially designed, custom Air Force Ones, and we've been rocking and rolling since we've been wearing these. So as normal traders go, just like you guys, you know, try to keep, you know, consistent there because you never know what's sort of sparking the run that we've had. And today, I'm glad we wore these as we go. But yeah, big time movement today. Look at WFC back to the bottom. And then what I really want to talk about was this AMD trade because, I mean, really, this is what it's all about for me. Now to 86 and change. We talked about this in the pre-market. Look at it just continue to rip, man. Like 86, 86. 86.20, 86.40. Like this is now $1.04 in the money. So we're just going back to back here, man. This could be the trade of the day as well, and I'll tell you why. Because taking that break, we talked about it, and then we got out. Like when it broke that 50, right? We just didn't want to hold in case this was going to be one of those monster crazy dip down days. But then it comes back to VWAP, and we take it, right? Holding this level, and then now you get to the upside. So even though this was a losing trade, I wish I did the same thing on Space, but I didn't. So who cares what we did or didn't do? The point is, I did do this on AMD, and now you're up $1.10 in the money. So forget about it. You know how we trade. This is how I trade, and I just hope that I'm learning from myself every single day. And by the way, look at these XOM puts, guys. Again, we'll talk about being legitimate, right? Like I talked about these XOM puts when XOM was all the way up here. Remember 63, 64? I said this is probably a little too high for XOM, and we put on the puts. So again, we're just trying to keep it real here, trading both in long-term accounts and these short-term plays, man. We're rocking and rolling. Like we were negative on Friday for the first time in I think 38 days or something, but we are back now with a vengeance today, making more money today than we lost on Friday, and it's only 10.16. So there goes AMD, $1.30 in the money, man. We walking on water over here, guys.
So like I said, I get to that MTSL, and apologies, guys, but like it opened back up. It was quick time action there. You know the play that I like to do off this. If it fails at the halt price immediately, I'm looking for the first consolidation I can get. That was at 40.65 here. I got in a couple of times. Retraced back into VWAP, this cluster here as well, 4.45. The reason why every single time is a halt, I say the same thing over and over again, is so that when you get the setup, you can put the trade on. Now, I'm going to hold on to some of this, see if we can get a further breakdown to like a 25 area, because it's always going to be worth it. But my breakout is my out is at 476, current top. Moxie, again, it's pattern recognition. This seems random, but like we said earlier, there was, why this is on US Steel for some reason. That's kind of crazy. No, this is Moxie. I don't know why it says US Steel. But anyways, this is Moxie. There was that this is US Steel. Moxie here, there is that 26.31 offer, and that's the only reason I'm even in this position. Is this offer right here. I'm short in front of it. I'm going to be scalping every chance that I get. If it does a bigger breakdown, I have bids down here to be able to take some more profit. As a matter of fact, I should have one around that 2050 level, so I'll go ahead and throw that one in. It was a great trade for the back end of the week, Thursday and Friday, off of this seller, because they just kept showing up. They showed up at 29, they showed up at 28, for a bid at 27, now 26.31, the most random price in the world. And that CRTD continues to be a good one, but CCL here, I don't know if you're still in as well, Sean, but CCL just broke the low. So I said if it does not break this in the next few minutes, I actually will take the trade off. It's now broken that low of the day, though it hasn't followed through just yet. Looks like it could be heading down to 19 even. If that thing gets to 18, like, it actually, not that I've ever been interested in the cruise lines. That could be an interesting level at 18 if it ever gets there.
We are now 10 cents in the money. Yeah, I mean, I'm still in it, of course. I mean, this is why. And again, you know, follow me early. Like, I don't have a problem sticking my neck on the line for you guys, giving you guys my trades every single day. And I mean, it's Sticky Note Nation. Oh, what's up to Phil? If Phil's here, hold on a second. Here we go. Extend this out. Look at this. So Phil here. Thanks, Phil. Tons of sticky notes in here. Wah! Both large and small. Even these were the small ones. These small guys, super small. I'm still looking for that whiteboard. Anybody want to send me a whiteboard? We'll put it back there for that. But I think the sticky notes is working well. So far, so good on that one. What's up with everybody, man? And here goes WFC. Like this one, you want to talk about something that's been like an...
Oh my God.
It's been WFC. Like, look at that short that we had off the open, guys. We talked about this 42.9, 42.50, and then now look where we are on this. Just continues to go down. This is 65 cents in the money for CCL as well. Not Ethereum. This is 65 cents in the money for CCL. Bang, 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 bang to the downside. Still going. We're still on that one. We don't have anything. We're flat now. So let's try to find some. Well, we have the three positions that we're talking about. WFC 12 cents in the money. CCL 65 cents in the money. AMD $1.50 in the money. You guys want to talk a little bit about NVIDIA? Hell yeah, I'm loving some NVIDIA. This was my call. Again, tweeted this out at 600 when we bought this on the split announcement. Now you're all the way to the upside. I'm wondering if it's a little bit too much here today. Up that 3%. It's been a beautiful pullback in to get long at the 50-period moving average. So if you like NVIDIA now, long is the way to go. But remember, you get to split tomorrow, so you're going to be 5 for 1 or 8 for 1 tomorrow with NVIDIA. So we'll retrade that. And trust me, guys, if you think that we're destroying it today, wait till you see tomorrow. Like, I'm already super excited about NVIDIA. You're seeing what I'm doing to AMD. Now put NVIDIA down to this price, and we'll see what happens with that. Look at AMD, guys. Just continues to rock and roll. We're super happy. My pick of the year has been SMH. How's that been working out? Not too bad. Over at the big screen, the man, the myth, the legend. He's never going anywhere, I hope. If I can do anything about it, it's Brendan Wickens, ladies and gentlemen.
Not bad. I'll give it a solid 5. 5? Maybe 8. Let's go. Number to talk about here, guys. CYTK, we talked about right before the open. This morning was very, very strong up here on news, got all the way up to 31. I've completely avoided this thing until about 5 minutes ago because we failed there at 30 again, back below 29. So I was talking about 28. If you go to the daily chart, 28, a very important level. So this is very tiny right now just versus 30. Let's see what happens versus 30. If we get back below 28, this thing has a long way to go. Back to the upside, but could take a while, so be patient with CYTK. NRXP, this was my main idea this morning because we got up to very significant levels. I was sitting here watching this happen, and there was just no bounce whatsoever for, this is 17 up here. It came all the way into 13 in a straight line, just could not bounce. So finally gave you a little consolidation in front of 13 to 13.5, down to 11 there. We're trying to make day lows again on NRXP. The other one, AEHR, tried this very small versus 5 here. It's down to 440, obviously, but I really think this thing has room to the downside. Probably 4 gets tested at some point today, but needs to stay below 475. We'll call it right now for AEHR. Guys, back to you.
It's not there yet, but the only thing that I looked at for a potential long on AMC was 33.30, like it's going to be like 33.35, 33.40. This range here, it flushed down off the open, in the pre-market about 7.30 off of that price. It then did that rollover trade at 9.30, which, I mean, that's another one. I actually said in the prep, I'm like, this is the first time I've ever looked at that and thought that AMC would give that rollover trade. It actually did. I think that could be a potential breakout price. It's got to get there first. Obviously, it's been pretty weak thus far. Just go back to this CCL because it's trying to sustain that move to the upside. It's only that one in off that 20 fade that we liked. I still think it has room to go into this downside, but you're starting to see the market. Now, I'm talking about, the NASDAQ's already sort of bouncing here. The ES is down like almost a full 2%, but it's starting to level off just a little bit here. And you kind of think that CCL might find a little bit of a bid. The airlines, on the other hand, which we have literally not talked about, have already started to make some bottoms. Like I'm just looking at AAL consolidating off of the low. That's why I think CCL at some point is going to be a bit of an out. Whether it falls lower or not, I'm just going to take the profit and run. That MTSL that halted to the upside, we got that trade into VWAP. It looks like it has a chance to continue its breakout. So that's a bullish sign. Hold VWAP higher. The volume, however, is dying down for anybody that's still a bull on that. And then there was one other halt just now. HPI I don't think actually halted. Another parabolic mover, I should say. So AHPI on volume, it pressed into like $7. It was a quick move, but no halt on this. It was a mover in last week's action. You might remember it. If it breaks out again through 7, just have a quick look at these levels on the 15-minute chart, guys. You got 760, a failure again on a 750, 760 area break. So if it touches that, you kind of think everyone that's holding the bag that might have bought that break will be happy to see it and start to dump. So watching that AHPI, if we're a pop into 750, 760, that's where I'd like to short that one.
Look, you're welcome, Sam. You're welcome for AMD, man. I mean, that's what I'm here for, is to give you guys these. I hope you also had CCL. We've been banging the pavement on that one all morning as well. So hopefully that was a good one. We had that early, then we had it late. Well, early late as it opened, but 9:35, and now you're all the way down to the day's low. No intentions of getting out of this bad boy. So again, we did have a negative day on Friday. We talked about that. We are now up more today than we were on Friday. So completely erasing that negativity. So now we're a little bit more hype as we continue to go to the upside right now on a lot of these names. Microsoft pulling back a little bit. Some of these big tech names. And again, so we can focus on Netflix maybe because they report tomorrow after market, as I talked about that earlier. Netflix today back to green. So I still think Netflix can get bought. I'm just waiting for earnings. I want to buy Netflix. So Netflix is going to be a name that I am going to buy. So at some point coming up very, very soon. I just like everything that they're doing on there, man. We're starting to watch that manifest. It just seems like they have more and more content like all of the time on Netflix. And there's something
not a bad show. I've seen it.
Yep. There's also something called The Heist as well that's on there now. We just watched something about the Loomis truck driver there back in '93. It was just interesting. It doesn't matter. The point is that I think content is going to remain king. You see the talk with Comcast. We know Fox was already bought by Disney, so on and so forth. So no one's buying Netflix. They're the ones doing the buying, but we'll see. I just think it hasn't really exploded like a lot of those other names have. I am most worried about Apple. I'm least worried about Apple for long term, but I'm most worried about Apple here as it's pulled back from that 150. I know Brendan sold some at the top. That was a good move there, but we are fading back in. This has been sort of the playbook, guys, for a lot of these high-flying techs getting sold back into earnings. So watch out. I mean, I don't think we get to 133 before earnings, but we could. So I may lighten up of some Apple today as well. Like I'm really, really debating getting light on a lot of names here, just so we can have, especially Square. I saw they were added by Kathy Wood today, I guess, to the FinTech ETF there, Brendan, I guess. ARC F, so Square added, but Square still down 4%. And again, like picking bottoms and tops is too stressful for me. So I was debating getting in to some of these FinTech ETFs and just dump all my PayPal Square. Like look at SoFi, like what the hell? Like, some of these names just, they continue to not work in this environment. We talked about that, man. High growth stocks, come on SoFi. High growth stocks just not working out right now. So just be very, very cautious of some of these plays, guys.
Absolutely. I know some guys want to talk about that Alpha Pro Tech. I'll try to get to it in a sec here, but a lot happening. I actually had a garbage stop fill here on this MOXC because I can show you the offer is obviously still there at 31. I was short in front of it. I actually reloaded right in front of it at like 26s, and then I got stopped out hitting that order. So I'm like, you know what, forget about it. I'll use a different stop that is not going to trigger unless that level is broken. So I just jump right back into it at 26.30. So I'm back into MOXC. Should never have gotten out in the first place. That was kind of a bad trigger there. Alpha Pro Tech, this is on the Amex. I always seem to forget it. The volume is pretty good on that last spike up to 950, but it is a double top on APT. It already broke to the level that would have been of the most interest at 9 even. So in terms of key levels and bag holding things, you're looking at 9 and 1050 there. So that 950, doesn't really stand out like a sore thumb. I think if we get back below 9, I think I'd like to, maybe dig into the short below that 9 even range a little bit more. It did have a double top, I know, but the volume's still looking pretty good. And there's definitely room to run if it broke 950. I just like that thing a little bit better if it was below $9 for a short style trade. CCL continues to fall. I'm bidding in front of 19. I think we actually have a decent shot of getting that 19 level. And maybe that 18, which I wrote down, might come into play this week on CCL. I think it could be a buy down there.
Okay, 86.20 or so here. We'll get out of AMD if it does continue to fall back to the downside there, but we're not getting out of anything CCL-wise. CCL just continues. Like, we called this short, and what's up to Daryl as well. I know you trade this name, so you know that I called this short here at 24.25 on the multi-day break. Those are really, like, honestly, that's like starting to get, and as I said, I'm learning more and more. Like, normally I just wait for these kind of prints like right here, breaking through 50 period moving averages, but really I am also looking at multi-day breaks. So that's just something else that we've added into our repertoire now. So that was a great call on this short to the downside, man. Like, did we expect it to go all the way to 18 bucks? No, but look where we're short right now. This is almost $1 now in the money on CCL. You can see this. Early short, averaged into it, and this is what happens when you believe in something. You take it no matter what, and then it comes right to the downside. So we did believe in that. Another short that we had was WFC. We did clock that out for a dime. Now it's a dime against us. So this has been one of my top stocks today, believe it or not, WFC, because of this print right there. We took that down for $1 on the downside. AMC, I know Neil's not in there, maybe looking to get in it, maybe, sorry.
There was a break I liked to the upside that I didn't think was going to happen, but actually could.
Yeah. So we're waiting. I mean, I liked this break, 34.50, but that's what I put on the sheet. No, today we only put short on the sheet right here, down to 31.10. We're able to get out, like we said, 31.10. Look where this went to, guys, 31.17. Like, okay, that seems a pretty good call. And look at this ripping back to the upside. Now we've absolutely destroyed AMC. It'll be a battle to see what we're going to use for a trade of the day. I may just use CCL. We'll find out. Neil and I will go back and forth to decide what we're going to use. What's up,
CCL,
Brendan?
Neil, there's lots of good ones, man.
All right, guys, it is 10:30, coming up in 15 minutes this morning. Stick around because we have a really cool guest, something that I wasn't aware of, but we have Avanti Energy, and this is in the helium space. You will be absolutely, maybe not shocked, but surprised anyways, as to how many things you use on a daily basis requires helium. So stick around for Avanti Energy coming up in 15 minutes. Really, really cool topic and discussion to come with them. In the meantime, let's get a check on how things are in Europe. Miss V, what's up?
Hey Brandon, European markets are also negative on the various worries. Sumo Group, video game company trading in London, is up around 40% after Tencent Music agreed to buy the company in a deal worth around $1.7 to $7 billion. Back to you.
Yeah, I saw that one too. Deal-making Monday, guys.
They call it Merger Monday for a reason, and that halts us to the upside of MTSL. Rinse and repeat here. I mean, not the exact same price, but I mean, the first out is about the same. But we take some more shares in that 60 range. It tried to bounce off that VWAP. It then started like failing a little bit here. I still think 475 or 76 technically is the high. That's going to be my stop. CCL did just bounce off the quarters a little bit here, but I'm going to sort of stick with the plan and then go with it. Now, AMC, as you mentioned there, Sean, look, I like that break earlier on in the session. I said, look, if it breaks at 33.35, I mean, kind of technically this breakdown here is 33.40. I can kind of show you here on the 15-minute chart why I like this range. You had on Thursday, you had a bit of a bottom at that exact same price. Then you get the rollover in the pre-market at that price. So that's why I like that breakout. It held barely, I mean, barely held that low of the day. So it's like technically a double bottom and then retracing through a previous support level there. So that's the look on AMC. Does it happen? It's pretty close. It's a breakout at 10:30, which is not necessarily the best or as good as like a 9:30 break or a 1:30, 2:30 type of move, but I'll have it if that 35 or 33.35 goes on AMC to the long side.
Yeah, like I was saying, yeah, so that's good talk there as we were crushing AMC there as well. Just to look here, we might just get out 19. I mean, we left a little bit on the table there, not getting out in the 20s here on CCL, but again, it hasn't been a super huge amount of concern for me. But you know, we did crush it there, but you can't do that unless you realize a little bit more on this name. So let's just we got to get out at some point. So that's all. What is this level here? 19. It's so close to where we are now. CCL. Let's see if we can see a 3-minute chart here on CCL. See if there's anything better. See what some of these moving averages are here. Okay, VWAP's this blue, so we're all the way to 1970. I'm not holding it back there. Yeah, so here we go. A little moving average, 3-minute moving average on this one. 3. So we'll see right 3-minute chart on a 3-minute chart. 3-minute moving average on a 3-minute chart. 1950. So man, I hate to give some of this back on CCL, but hey, we're still short 1997. So still a big winner, and it's only on a third of what we had on the top. So giving some back, I never liked that. But again, if you don't take risk, then you don't, get the reward. So for CCL there, we did take the risk big time, and now we're going to wait for 1950 to break. That's going to be my out spot there for you guys on CCL.
And I'm going to go back to the, here you're going to see it. Look, you'll see a wick like this on that CRTD, and we'll walk in a bit of water for it. Like, it's just, whenever we get that reversal, like this MTSL is basically not doing what CRTD did, although I am short that name. This one I said could be for the rest of the day short, but you look at that pre-market bottom. If it doesn't break this, I already said this could be one where it has a second leg in it, and I want to be ready for that in case it gets back to that 420 level. It just ticked down. I was already sitting at that. I said 365. That's where I was. The pre-market low is at 356 here, so I'll call it 350, where you can have a breakdown trade in the afternoon. So I'll probably be sitting this one a while, just like that. Moxie AMC is getting real close. We just broke 33. Well, you know what? I think I jinxed it. Yeah, I might have jinxed that one. I was about to say I'm going to get AMC breakout long any second. I'm like, AMC's getting real close, thinking it was about to trigger me in here. It gets to 33.26 and then pulls back 50 pennies. So that level still some resistance. Obviously, there's some price action there of interest. So I think everybody, like whether you're shorting this one or if you're in the long off the bottom, I mean, that's obviously a bit of a resistance level, that 33.35. That's where I'm looking to break out, and it's running away from it currently. I'm not buying dips, I'm only buying the break. I want to see it strong first and then buy up on AMC as opposed to standing in front of that sword. That didn't work out too well last week when I tried to buy dips on AMC on one of the weekdays. So I'm not going to do it today, not for sure.
Yeah, no, part of it is obviously learning from our past mistakes there. So I'm trying to do the same thing right now. We do have AMD is going to come out right now if we break below this. So this is, again, learning from our mistake here. We do hold it. It does go in the money. And thank you to Sam. Thank you to all you guys that gave credit for this call, because, again, that's what we're all about. It's just about, like, learning why we make decisions, why we take the trades that we do. And here we go. Here's just another story, hopefully creating some nice little movements up for you guys on AMD there. Hopefully, anyway. For a nice little move to the upside. I just talked about where I will be getting out of that if it does fail. So AMD 8630, if it fails, that's where we're going to step out of that one. So very, very, very cautious here with AMD on that one. CCL, we talked about our out there. I'm just reviewing some of the outs here, guys, so we're all kind of on the same page here, so we're not like caught kind of bag holding some of these trades. And then WFC, I'm already out. It's right back at VWAP. We still have a small part on this one, but debating right now on VWAP. I don't know. The run might have been over there, down 3.5%. I don't know. I'm not in love with reloading this one here, but we may just do that and then give it to about this 42.85. So looking to reload here a little bit on WFC. Actually, I think we'll do it right now.
Yeah, and I want to go back to NEO because we covered NEO off that bottom. It's right back up at that top. Look, I was kind of hoping, I kind of thought actually that it was going to test higher than that 42. I liked 42.50. I said that in the pre-market as well. And we only took that one trade off this cluster. So the only reason I'm not in this, because it does feel like it wants to test higher. And yeah, I know I'm sticking to the short side of the trade after that run up, but it is what it is. I kind of feel like until you're wrong, you stick with what's working. Moxie is holding right at that monster order. The volume just feels like it's not enough, that it's going to run away from it like a freight train. So I might actually scalp this a little bit more, see if I can't get a bid in the teens, and then maybe some in front of 26 even, because if it's only going to give me 10, 15 cents, you might just have to size up and take less there. But I'm now watching NEO after getting flat. I'm kind of thinking if it consolidates higher and then presses into this 42 or 42.50 range, that could be an interesting top. And AMC, of course, I jinxed it. I'm not getting that break. It continues to run away from that 33.35.
Yeah, AMC my number one stock today so far, so that's a good one. We'll wait. I have no intentions of trading that one again until something crazy happens. WFC, we talked a little bit too much. That's a surprise, as now it's coming right back upside. So hopefully we get that short again. It just went down to 65, so we missed the opportunity to get that. But here we we're waiting there at 72. So hopefully that can come through one more time for us there. That is WFC. So we're waiting for that to come through. Other than that, man, I mean, right now we're kind of flat on everything. We haven't really entered into too much. SPCE, the only losing stock that we have on board today. AMD, by the way, came out, so we'll go boom for that one, as who knows if it's going to be a good out or not, but there's the out right there. Downside move for AMD, ABCDE, right? So we'll maybe have to trade AME soon. Downside to the, I don't know, we'll see. I don't really want to short it, but look what's happening to the NASDAQ right now, just getting pummeled. So stocks like Microsoft, stocks like Apple, some of these other names there, I'm just very, very surprised that some of these tech names are still actually remaining as high up as they are right now. So Microsoft down to 275 now and making days low as well. AMD, guys, probably, although I don't want to do it, you probably should fade this move. It's probably heading to the south side even more now. But again, if the NASDAQ picks up, we know AMD for some reason much, much stronger than the market here. So a good look on anybody that was long there. We try to pick up some more bottoms. If AMD can get to VWAP here, 85.50, 85.60, I become interested again.
Yeah, and a name that I basically have ignored. And the AHR looked like it was going to be a breakout. I'm like, yeah, it's the only thing that looks pretty strong here off the open. It tries to break that 5. Immediately, I'm like, I was short. You know, basically, I think both of us were all short in the pre-market here and at the open as well. It was the only thing I had to the long side. Broke up. I'm like, tight stop on this because the shorts look like they're going to be in. It's continuing to hold lower, but even as the volume dies down, it can't even touch that 420 level that we talked about in the pre-market. So I will be watching this. I just got the AMC breakout long, so 33, 38 I slipped up to. But I want to hang on to this one at least a little bit. Probably give it at least a VWAP down there at 32. This AEHR, if it doesn't break this 420 at some point before 130, maybe like 2:30. This could be one of those for the afternoon show where you get a breakout, or maybe earlier than that, where you can still have a breakout at that 5 level, guys. So I'm kind of watching it still. It's still holding up pretty well. 50 million shares done, up 33%, and not breaking any of these lows. But the volume does have to pick back up. I know you can't really see it here. It's holding pretty well, but I'd want to make sure that if it spikes up and breaks at 5, I want that volume creeping right back up to these levels that it was at the open. Otherwise, I don't like that breakout. Brendan is at the big screen for Sector Watch. I mean, it's not entirely red, I guess.
Hey guys, yeah, let's have a look at the overall market here. Yeah, it's getting real. 1.8% now for the S&P to the downside. Really, only a few things standing out as positive. Want to start right in the middle here. NVIDIA ahead of the split tomorrow, leading the way to the upside, 3.25% for NVIDIA. You can see the rest of the tech group heavily into negative territory. Software names actually the worst off at this point. Hardware equipment makers right behind that. And then the rest of the semis also in negative territory. Look at the energy group. We were mentioning 3+% for crude oil. Yeah, all of these following suit, and then some. FANG, Oxy, SLB, MRO, all about 6% to the downside at this point. We'll flip over to this side. Here's all the travel names, or all of the airlines and cruise operators in the industrial group, down about 7.5% now for AAL, 7.5% for UAL. Delta here as well. There's Mark Roberts' Alaskan, ALK, only 3.2% at this point. Love right below that, 3%. So all of the travel-related names in the industrial group. I'll swing over to this side and show you Boeing as well, 5% for Boeing in the capital goods. But industrials are leading, bank stocks right behind that. Very, very red for bank stocks as those bond yields continue to not impress. Over here in the corner, consumer staples actually popping up. We've mentioned a couple of these already today on the retail side of things. That little blue square right there, I know it's tough to see, but that's Kroger still. 2.6%. Utility stocks right beside that, very red as well. So tough to find anything strong, guys. 1.8% right now for the S&P. Back to you.
This might be a little bit strong. Well, I mean, it's down 2%, but this is NEO. We talked about not getting back in at that 41.50 level. This is it now testing 42 even. 42.50 was that level from last week that we liked. And another thing which is kind of strong, only because it's, look, it's AMC is not positive on the session, but like NEO, making a break back up. I like that one long. We broke that level, that 33.35. I got in once. I got like 38s, and I added to it when 40 broke just because it looked pretty good. There was no retest to the downside. I was trying to, I actually have an offer here in front of that 34 level. Yeah, pre-market highs in there. I think we'd scalp some of it out because it's a breakout trade. So just missed getting some of it. AMC to the long side. I didn't go NEO long, which I'm kind of kicking myself. If I thought that move wasn't worth averaging or going back into the short, maybe I should have tried that neo long, but I want that at 42.50 to test into that sell side play, and that could be coming rather quickly. So AMC long for the first time in a bit, and we haven't had too many long here positions, but that making a nice bottom at that 31. So let's see what happens. It's not going to be diamond hands. This is a day trade here, so definitely getting some out in front of 34. I'll also look at some of the levels from Friday's action as well. You have to look at what was resistance right at the close at 35, I think almost for certain. And then from there, if it breaks 35, then you get some cover back into 36.5. And AMC certainly capable of putting these bigger moves out there. It hasn't done it yet. Still about like 15 cents in the money. I could have taken 40 pennies, just missed it because I wanted a bit more.
Whoopsies. Okay, we're just getting long right now, we're looking at space here for the long. We'll see where it wants to go, but right now we're looking at space up to 31, 32. It's funny that we'll go 6 for 7 today, guys, and our only loser is a 30 long on space when we're at 32. So diamond hands, not that. Once it breaks this level, we get out. But now I'm going to try to go long again. So if we get long here at 32.20, I think you just got to play the momentum now. So I'm done worrying about this name because obviously we're not worried about it. So we'll wait now on this and see how high we can fly. Now with space up to 32.20 is an area of concern for me. Not concern, but that's where we're going to go into that one on Virgin Galactic. If it takes it out, and then just where we'll get out, like, I mean, if I take another dollar hit on this, then I'll probably be done. But down here, 31, 34. And again, we have over 160 fills today. So everything is fine. We're literally rocking and rolling. It's all good. But at the same time, we never like to take these hits, right? So let's watch out 32.20 to the upside. Everything making money, man. We're just getting filled on everything now. The only problem right now is WFC only have one position on, and it's starting to go up. We said we'd take another shot here. We'll wait for 43. If that breaks, we're out. Good out here on CCL, guys. 1940 there. So everything rocking and rolling for us. Very, very happy with the way the day is going. But we are getting ready for our guest interview of the day. So I'm getting flat here, and I'll look for some more opportunities. Wow, AMD, as that comes all the way back too. Now 86.67, bad out there. But look at that, right back to day's high. We're just going to wait for space to break out the top.
Absolutely. This is where you do want to lighten up that load. I mean, there's the breakout in AMC is a reversal play for sure, but CCL was hanging on to that last little bit for profit. We're still downward trending. You could draw a trend line if you're into that sort of thing, and you'd be taken right to this price here. The 1975 area that it's putting on basically. So I think it's an interesting level. The first time we tested a lower high, did not get back in. At this time of day, I'm going to stick with that plan. Look, it either breaks out past the current high that we have, or we're just going to hang on to the last of it. We can do this for AMC. Because it does now get me out for that first little scalp trade. If it breaks 34, I'll 100% take some out in front of 35. There's just, again, it's not about diamond hands or not. It's just simply about a nice little technical break that it had at that opening range top. It was a level. If you go back into last week, showed the 15-minute chart, and then we got a nice little breakout on AMC, added to it because it looked pretty good. So let's see what happens. AMC just shows here, make money on the short. Over there with Sean, we'll make money on the long. We trade price action. It's all about learning to execute on the market, whatever it gives you. And now we're ready for our guest of the day. Let's go right over to Brendan at the desk.
All right, thanks, guys. Yeah, we talked about it a little bit early on this morning. Avanti Energy, very, very interesting story here. CEO Chris Baker joining us this morning to talk a little bit about the prominence, I guess, Chris, when it comes to helium and helium extraction. So tell us a little bit to start things off here about the company overall, and maybe fill in the viewers on some of the things that they're not aware of that not only require helium, but that use helium on a daily basis. Great to see you.
Yeah, great to see you. Thank you. Yeah, our company was formed by a group of proven oil and gas veterans, and we saw the opportunity in helium to redeploy our skills. As you know, oil and gas has been a bit volatile. And we saw the growing supply-demand gap in helium as a great space for us to apply these skills. Helium is primarily used in the medical area for MRIs, but the real growth area is in high tech, which we find very interesting.
And a part of our daily lives, almost, as we say, on a daily basis, talking about some of the things we carry around in our pockets to, these smart cars that are coming up almost on a daily basis, the chip industry as well, that has been so prominent over the past couple of months. Walk us through the extraction process here. again, viewers might not be overly familiar with, the compound itself. Maybe give us a little explanation as to how the company actually pulls this out of the ground and what that entails.
Sure. Helium's it's a byproduct from the natural decay of uranium and thorium, and those elements are found deep in the earth. And helium is a very light and small element, and as it's formed, it wants to rise. And as it travels through the various layers of the earth, it runs into impermeable layers and becomes trapped in a fashion very similar to natural gas. And so that's the obvious extension of our skill set. We're natural gas veterans, and so the exploration process is very similar. We're looking for traps and structures similar to natural gas using geoscience skills. We've got a strong team of geologists and geophysicists, and the entire process is very, very similar to natural gas.
So when it comes to, we're going to talk about what the company's focused on as far as projects are concerned here coming up. But when it comes to demand, where is Avanti seeing the biggest demand? Where is the biggest customer coming to the company at this point?
Yeah, the real growth is on the high tech sector. Things like semiconductors, which you alluded to, require helium to grow or to be manufactured. Fiber optic manufacturing uses helium. The single biggest buyer is NASA, and of course, you've seen in all the news lately, the billionaires are entering the space industry as well. So we find that a very exciting opportunity for us as well.
When it comes to the way that they are using it, though, walk us through, I guess, what is the NASA's of the world finding so interesting and so useful about helium?
Yeah, the unique characteristics of helium are that it's an extremely small molecule, as I mentioned. Its liquefaction point is minus 272, so if you need an extremely cold environment for certain electronics to operate, things like quantum computing, that sort of thing, and MRI magnets, that only operates at those extreme temperatures. And in terms of things like opportunities for groups like NASA and the rocket industry, it's really about leak detection and purging of the atmosphere. Helium's inert, so it doesn't react with anything else, and that makes it an excellent product for that situation. Globally, I think I should have mentioned earlier that we are seeing an 11% demand growth across the globe, and that's led to the supply-demand gap that's really driven prices up in the last few years.
So the company's active currently both in Western Canada and in the Montana area. Tell us what about this area, provides the most opportunity as far as helium extraction is concerned, and give us an update on both of these projects.
Sure. In the Canadian side, the oil and gas industry has a tremendous amount of data that has to be published. And that's allowed our geoscientists to build some very detailed models of prospective structures for helium. We took that information on the Alberta side and acquired some land there, and extrapolated that across to the Montana side of the border. And that's led to our core property. Now we've got 60,000 contiguous acres there with quite a number of prospective structures that we hope to be exploring here in the next few months.
So when it comes to what to look for next, I know in this country anyways, if you go to the doctor and they send you to get an MRI, it's weeks as far as the waiting list is concerned. So the demand for that obviously still very, very high. What can viewers expect up next for the company?
Yeah, next we're still targeting to drill 3 wells this year. We are actually actively lining up rig inspections so we can deploy the equipment on the ground here in the next few months. The success case on those 3 wells would be that we would continue on drilling in the new year and be ordering facilities this winter with production aiming for about Q3 of 2022. So there's a direct line of sight between today and production. But right now, all of our focus is on testing that ground with the drill rigs. So we're taking every step we can right now to accelerate that.
Baker, CEO of Avanti Energy, AVN, on the Venture Exchange here in Toronto, guys. If you want to check out that symbol. We appreciate your time today, Chris, and look forward to an update in the future.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Have a great day. There we go, guys. A helium play. First time I had the pleasure of having that conversation with Chris going back to last week.
And you said it there. Actually, I mean, look, I'm learning something as well because that's my first exposure hearing that. So fantastic guest as always. Speaking of helium, look, it's hard to make a helium pun when the market's down over 1%. We'll go for it anyways. AMC does break, well, it barely broke the pre-market highs here. I mean, I'm talking barely. Got like 5 tenths, so 20, maybe 25 cents higher. Couldn't sustain it. I got some at 34.20. We only had that breakout trade at 33.35. We added to it at 40s. We're still going to hold this one to 35 even if it can get up there. I'm still going to buy the dips. To me, it's a momentum reversal, I think here. So, you know, I talked about that 32. You're pressing up VWAP here. You had this pull back into 32, 32. So I'd actually take a trade off of VWAP and that level now if it pulls back in. So AMC into the long side. It's kind of been a pain in the butt, this Moxie trade. It's a profitable one, but it's been, like I said, it was a pain in the butt. There was one bad wick. This monster seller at 26.31 never broke. So I got out. You know, take that pain because I was short in front of it. We do get right back into them. I said I would scalp more out in front of 26. That's what I got to do. It's actually holding VWAP, so this sets up pretty well. If it continuously does not break these levels here down below VWAP and get any momentum going, and then that offer finally goes here on Moxie, and I know it's at a random price. They were sitting, whoever it was, and maybe it's the same trade. Maybe it's not even the same order. I just think it's the same thing we saw last week. That's my guess. They've been taking these fills legitimately, so that actually has to get broken. It was 500,000 before. It's about 400,000 shares now. If you continuously hold VWAP and form a wedge to the upside, it becomes a bit of a breakout trade, although you'd like to see volume on a breakout. So for now, the spread's there. You can pop bids in there. I mean, I just was able to get some there at 16s. I was able to get a bid at 10s. I'm going to throw one in front of that 26, even that you guys see there. And then hopefully hold at least some of it in case it flushes off of that level. So pattern recognition. There was an offer 2 days in a row we made money off of. We were able to get dollar moves off this level before. Now it's giving you scalp trades. And another one there on Moxie. If you're wondering why I'm in it, nothing to do with momentum, nothing to do with technicals, everything to do with the level 2 and the level 2 only.
Yeah, and WFC now, I mean, we can ring the register again and we'll just go boom because this is the kind of day, obviously, that it's been here as WFC. Like, we get lucky again. It doesn't break, well, not lucky. I mean, this is our plan. It doesn't break 43 there, and now you're seeing it just tank city. So we cover again, man, off of our latest short at 72 or 73. What am I short at? 72. So 72 short. Again, guys, like another 20 cents in the money. I don't know. It's just, this is the kind of day it is. What's up, Valeria? What's up, Brian?
All right, a few minutes ago here, guys, we have a busy week, to say the least, as far as earnings. We've mentioned a few already. Netflix to come. Aftermarket tomorrow. There's Johnson & Johnson. There's Coke. There's Verizon. We're getting into the heart of earnings reporting season. Here's what's up aftermarket tonight or before the open tomorrow.
Yeah, we talked IBM being the big one. I mean, Halliburton, of course, we probably should have said. I gave it, like, you'll see Silvergate on there. I did like what seemed like a really good trade on Silvergate, at least at the time. When I was like, yeah, I'm taking off from Silvergate to buy Coinbase because I wanted to shift my, some of my exposure, at least in the space, over into a name that was depressed. It was a good call on Silvergate to take some out in the teens. I think it's hitting major support here at this 80 level. That, I mean, look, as long as we're holding up above 30,000, might not be a big deal. But if simultaneously that breaks and 79 goes on Silvergate, this thing could get cut deep and certainly down into that 50 or 60 range. I just don't think Coinbase has that bad a move in it because of that 200 level. Although my entry in Coinbase, where we sold here, basically flat. So Coinbase has been doing nothing, which is better than falling 30%. So I really can't complain.
Look, I'm really just super happy. I always feel like there's pressure on us to give you guys the winning trades because, again, today 6 for 7, and here goes WFC back in the money, another 30 cents for us here as we are now above, well, we've been above for a while, but now we're significantly above where we were on Friday. So just the fun continues, man, as we can continue to go. Just some talk here quickly on Palantir because we haven't talked about that at all today. I put it on here, man. I was just like, we got to watch out for 20. It's right at the bottom. I haven't traded it at all today. It does go as low as 20.55. And you know, I trimmed off live on the show for you guys up here at 26.30 or 26.60, I believe it was. We trimmed some off, like real shares trimmed off right there. It was only 10-15% of the Palantir position, but I'm wondering about getting back in now for a longer term play on this one. So that's a good one, man. We're really super happy with the way trading's been. And I always feel a lot of pressure to continue to perform, but hey, just keep watching our stocks, watch our watch list, subscribe to our watch list, take note of the sticky notes, and hopefully we can come back tomorrow with, well, not hopefully, we will be back. We'll also be back at 3:15, but we'll have some winners for you coming. I'm really excited about this market heading into, I mean, I wasn't super excited last week, but, and then Greg, like, you know, that was another thing. Greg, our trainer here, he was like noticing that I was red, and I mentioned like, oh my God, I hate being this, you know, being red. And he mentioned that, hey, you know, it's Friday, it's summertime trading, like slow your roll a little bit. That is gonna wind up happening. So thanks to Greg, we did slow down a little bit today. We stuck with our goals, and you know, we traded the sticky note, we traded what we wanted to, and today we're 6 for 7 when our only loser is now $1.20 or so in the money. So, so far so good today, guys. I hope you're at least able to follow some of the trades. All of my trades are all basically one in, one out, and then a couple averages in as well. So hopefully you guys can join us once again. Valeria is absolutely freezing here. So hopefully we'll get the air condition up or down, I guess, for our afternoon show.
Speaking of Valeria, you know we do one thing before we get out of here, and of course come back. Look, obviously it's a come back at 3:15 because this is a heated market. There's lots of opportunities, and we're going to have a good last 45 minutes of trade. But here we go. We got the National Day. We'll go to Miss V. I don't know. This is the kind of thing that is a good summer drink. Why not? I haven't had one in a while, but certainly maybe get you thirsty on this one. I don't know why you're so cold, Miss V.
Yeah, it feels like AC blowing right into me, guys. Anyways, guys, we're super glad you started this trading week in our company. I wish you a great rest of the day. And in case you forgot, here I am to remind you guys, double check if you like this video. We really need your support. Likes are free, likes are wonderful, and just exchange of positive energy. Well, we'll see you at 3:15 p.m. Eastern Time, and happy National Daiquiri Day, everyone.
Oh, hell yeah, some daiquiris. I know Neil's all about the daiquiris.
You know I like it. Come on now, I like a strawberry daiquiri. Why
we
not?
were just talking, we actually had the pleasure of going out, Neil, myself, and Brendan. We went out, so again, another shout out to Cactus Club. We went out there on Saturday, and we had some fancy drinks like that. So that was really fun.
Oh, you know what we didn't say?
What was that?
The first round was Moscow Mules.
Right. Oh, yeah, that's right. And it was
Moscow
And I
Mules.
got there. I was like, what the hell are we doing with Moscow Mules? But there was an honorary drink for Valeria. So for Miss V. I'm not a huge fan of Moscow Mule, but it's nice. It was good. Nice and refreshing and cold. But yeah, margaritas over daiquiris for me all day long.
They were also the first drink on the list that we saw, so there was that as well. But yeah, shout out to Chef Paul at Cactus Club. Great time as always.
Great place, and yeah, absolutely, they treated us fantastically. And look, everybody come back 3:15. It's going to be another wild afternoon for sure. Plenty of movers out there, market red, but we found some ways to make money in these markets today. I do think for the entire team down the line, Ms. V, Brennan, awesome interview again, myself, Neil Roberts, and Sean Katina. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Trader TV Live, and we'll see you at the close.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.